There we go.
Not the worst thing.
No,
Yeah.
no.
A tiny head is, I mean, depends on what
Which one it is, yeah.
depends on what head you're talking
Yeah.
about.
It's funny, when I got to get a baseball hat, I usually get kid size because I got like a 6 5/8 head.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that why your traps look so big? It's the,
It's the head.
illusion of the bodybuilding.
head.
The illusion. That's the thing we're gonna tell everybody. You can't be a pro unless you got a tiny head.
It's
That makes you,
hilarious.
or is it vice versa? I think you get so big that the head looks tiny.
Well, that's another thing. Who used to say that to me? Charlie Glass. Charlie with the arms.
Oh yeah.
He used to tell me that all the time. He'd be like, he goes, "You're starting to look like a turtle. You got this big body with this little head." I was like, "Oh, dude." So,
Don't you like how you call them? Everyone's got. I mean, first off, when you walk into the gym, everybody is Big John,
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Nick, Charlie with the arms.
yeah, Charlie Arms.
Charlie with the
Charlie
arms. Who else do we have nicknames for over there? Anybody else from your crew? Because your crew is synonymous for the old school guys there.
Well, you got Big Rob, you got Charlie Tile. You know, everybody who's in construction has a different type of name. Like,
And I feel like all of you guys are, except
Yeah.
for John. John is
John's a school teacher.
which is the scariest thing in the entire world.
Tattooed up school teacher. Knuckles.
Could you
inside
imagine
of his
walking in
hand.
as a young adolescent boy, trying
And
to
have him?
figure out what's going on in the world, and all of a sudden, John, we're going to teach you how to bench press today.
Yeah, it's crazy. He actually used to do. What do you call it? Where these kids would participate. He's got a bunch of awards for it, and they would participate in doing like an athletic type of running, lifting, all sorts of stuff. And John used to be in charge of all that. Then they cut the program out, which is
Yeah,
horrible.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's usually
Yeah, why do they give a shit about anybody's health?
Yeah,
it was a
crazy.
good program. That's why they cut it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and he has a ton of awards on his wall in the basement where he has most of his stuff.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I love John, man.
it's great.
And if he doesn't haze you when you're at the gym, he doesn't love you.
That's it. Everybody's like, "Yo, man, that guy's such a sarcastic pain in the ass." I'm like, "Dude, you don't.
Yeah, you don't get it.
You don't know him, you know." And he can be rough. You know, for when I first met John, and I used to train at this other gym, GFC, in Whitestone. He would try and ride me to death, bro. He would come over to me and try and break my chops left and right. And I'd laugh at him. I'd be like, "Little boy, you kidding me, man?" I'm like, "Can't bother me, guy. Can't bother me." He finally got to me while we were in Bev. So we're talking like years later. And I guess I was prepping for a show or something, and he just caught me on an off day. And I lashed out. He goes, "I finally got you." I was like, "Oh,
What a dick."
dude." I was like, "Oh, shit." But yeah, he did.
But he's our dick.
Yes. You know, but most of the guys in the crew, you know, are most of us are in construction. A lot of us are.
And how long have you guys been lifting together? Because I know some of you guys kind of, not that you're fresh with each other, like new, but I feel like you guys have such a well-knit group of
Yeah.
old school guys that not only, are real working men, which that's
Yes.
kind of a dying breed in the U.S. especially,
Yeah.
but you guys lift your asses off after you're done working all day or
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah, well, it's funny because a lot of guys go to me, "Well, what time do you get to the gym?" I'm like, "Well, it depends on what time my day starts, you know." I have a 6 a.m. start at work. I'm out of work by, hopefully, if we don't take lunch, I'm out of work at 1:45. But I'm also up at 3 a.m. You know, I'm on the train at 4:30, you know, going to work, go to work, do my thing, framing, drywall, whatever it is. 'cause
And
I'm a
how
carpenter.
many years are you doing that?
Total years was 39.
Ooh.
Wow.
39 years. Gotta remember, I started construction when I was 16. You know, we used to do roofing for my uncle, me and my brother, and my cousin. And then I went to work for the city. I worked from 18 to 23 with the city, the Parks Department. I worked with the construction end of it. So I was with the what they called Forest Park Shops. It was out of Forest Park in Queens.
Cool.
And you'd work with electricians, carpenters, masons, whatever. And I was basically most of the time with the carpenters, but when my guys went on vacation, I would go with an electrician or a plumber, and I'd be with them for whatever, however many weeks or whatever, if they needed me on a job, and I'd go. And I did that till I was about 23, and that's when I wound up having my first child. My wife and I, at the time, we were married. I got, we had our first child at 23, and then at that point, it was like the city just didn't pay enough. You know, and my brother had already gotten to the Carpenters Union because our grandfather was a carpenter. And he had retired, but he still had a lot of pull with the local. So my brother had gotten in, and like a year or two later, I was like, "Gramps, I need to get in." He was like, "No problem. Let's go make the introduction, and we'll get you going." And it's exactly what happened. I wound up getting in at 23, and I worked the whole time. I stayed in Queens for the most part. A lot of times you could have went to work anywhere. A lot of times you stayed in your local though. My local was Queens. Some guys would go to Manhattan. Companies would be like, John, we like the way you work. We'd like to go to Manhattan. But back then, I picked choose.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm staying in Queens.
Yeah, stay with the people.
But long story short, I went to Florida in '01 to '07 or '08. I'm sorry, to '08, and I worked for my brother, who's a general contractor down. He was also a union carpenter up here, like I said, for a while. He went down there, and work fizzled out in '06 into '07. And we were hustling, trying to pick up whatever we could at that point. We went from a 60-man crew down to like 8. That's how bad it had got.
And I'm sure that 8-man crew had to take the slack of what a 60-man crew needed to do.
Well, the problem was the work dried up. So we were just running around looking for work.
Oh, you were just
The
out there
housing market.
searching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so bad at one point. My brother's like, use whatever trucks and trailers you need. Get whatever work you guys can. He goes, I can't pull anything. There's nobody willing to put out or do work. So I was grabbing extensions on homes. Guys needed garages built, whatever. And, something you'd get 15, 20 grand for. Now everybody's got you over a barrel. They're like, well, how about 10? And you'd be looking at them like $10,000. You know how hard I got to work? You know what I got to do? But they had you over the barrel, so
Yeah,
you
most
had
people-
no choice, so
Most people don't get it.
yeah, so, I'd take the top couple of guys and we'd go do whatever we had to do to get that job done. We'd knock it out as quick as possible, and hopefully there was another one backing it right up. But then at the end of '07, I saw how bad it was really getting, and I couldn't hold out any longer, so I called my union rep up here, and I'm like, John, any shot I can get him come back? His name was John Early, great guy. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you never left in bad standings. He goes, come right back. He goes, we'll see what we can do.
Cool.
And I came back in February of '08. And the beginning of March, I started working for this company called Donaldson, big drywall outfit, right in City Field. And I worked there for a good solid over a year.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a great job. That was a really good job.
Yeah, the unions are kind of the way to go if you're going to, if you want some stability, especially.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I know a lot of guys, they preach about the camera union for
Yeah.
my field and stuff like that, but it's weird with how the union that for camera operators how it would work. You would need to find your own work, and it's almost like they back you.
Right,
Yeah.
but there is, if you can find a guy that is kind of in there already, somebody like you would know, like we know Ralph at the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and Ralph could put people to work. I've known he's already done it for somebody else that I know. So it depends on how it would go. Like the guy was telling me one day, it's funny because the guy that we're talking about got this kid Jeffrey. Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Magician kid? No.
No, Hernandez, Jeffrey Hernandez.
Oh, yeah, Jeff. Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
high school with him.
Right, so
Jeff's the homie.
Right. So he got Jeff a job. And Jeff comes up to me. He goes, I got to pay union dues.
Yeah,
dude,
man.
This is something you need to do. I said, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but the amount of money you're going to turn over and make is ridiculous. You're going to make good money. Nobody realizes it's called a package. So you're going to get your paycheck. You're going to get a 401k. You're going to get a pension. You're going to get, what else are you going to get? You're going to get medical. All these things that you're going to get. Say you make $50 an hour. Like me, I'm a carpenter. We make $54 an hour as a union carpenter. My package is $100 an hour.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for a company to lay out.
Yeah.
But you're also producing all day long because the minute you're not producing, John, you got to go.
Next guy.
Yeah.
That's it. They call the hall or whatever, and they get another guy. You're
How
a
often
body.
how often do you see that happen?
I see it happen a lot with the young guys because the young guys, they don't get it. Okay, everybody's like, well, everybody has a phone. Yes, you do have a phone. But for the hours that you're at work, you're not supposed to be looking at your phone. It's plain, it's simple, it's real easy to understand. If it's an emergency, like your wife never calls you or your parents or whoever, and all of a sudden you take a quick look at your phone and you see it's them, your boss ain't going to get mad if he knows it was an emergency phone call. But if they're calling you to see what you want for dinner or something stupid, You know, your boss don't want to see you on the phone. Not when
Yeah.
you're making that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want it. And
I understand that. My dad was local 580.
yeah,
So
ornamental line
ornamental.
worker. Yeah,
Yeah. So he I mean this is way before the kingdom of cell phones essentially.
of course.
But same thing. I mean, you weren't working, you weren't producing. His dad was on the job,
Right.
and that's how he got into it.
Yeah,
His dad brought him in, and that's kind of
sure.
Then
It was always
it.
a family type event. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? A lot of guys, it was father to son or grandfather to son to back all the way down. You know, and it would be handed down. But you have to be willing to really do it. You know, there is no easy ride. You know, maybe some guys got off real easy. You know, and back in the day, there used to be what they call no-show jobs. You know, shop steward guy would come in once a week. You know, fill out some papers and then he'd go home and he'd be getting paid for this. But that's over.
Yeah.
That's been gone for a very long time. You're not going to find that anywhere anymore. You know, even now, shop stewards, they don't want to hear it. You put your tools on and you go to work. Plain as I'm a certified steward.
So what does that mean?
That means you represent the men on the job because you represent the union, but you also represent the company. You know, you're like the buffer between the two.
Middleman.
Right.
Mhm.
So if there's a problem one direction, you got to explain it this way. If there's a problem with the men, there's a problem with the men and they have an issue with the company, you go back to the company and say, listen, blah, 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 this is the way it is. Can we work something out? You know, most of the times, if it's something minute, it can be squashed in a heartbeat. But if it's something that a company just don't want to deal with, they're like, no, this guy's got to go or whatever. And they can get rid of the steward as well. Back in the day, you couldn't get rid of a steward. Back in the day, it was, this guy's on your job and that's the way it is.
I'm sure a lot of people love that.
Yeah, well, that's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Now it's, if you have an issue with a steward, you can ask for another steward. You fill out a letter or something to the union, you make a little bit of a gripe, and they'll get rid of the guy.
He's gone 24 hours, done.
Yeah. I know one job, there was 7 stewards at one point. And I looked at them like, you kidding me? Well, yeah, and the one guy had a good point. We were doing a Cheesecake Factory in the Queens Center Mall. I was working for this company called Orion, but there was a woodworking outfit on the job doing all the cabinet install and this, that, and the other thing. They kept sending this guy morons. I'm being honest. How do you send a concrete guy to a finished job? The guy comes on a job with like a hammer, a chisel, and you know.
So at a finished job, you're basically done.
Yeah, you're at
you're
the end of
basically
the
Like
done.
an inspection, I guess,
I
right?
remember when I was working at the audio video. So when I was doing the audio video stuff in the Hamptons,
Right.
you know, I worked a lot with the builders and everything like that, and I would constantly be on job. So I know like the finish. A lot of people listening might not know finish portion of a job. Concrete's one of the first portions. Besides after
Yeah.
foundation,
Yeah.
And
it's
it's
the
rough
foundation.
work. It's rough work. It's like you're within a half an inch, you're good. Don't worry about it. You can't do that with woodwork. Woodwork's got to be spot on. It's got to be perfect. You know, you might have a little fudge factor here and there, but you're not having any half-inch gaps anywhere. You know, you
Yeah.
can't.
You can't forget a shelf.
The table
Yeah.
will literally fall over.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so you know, this is the type of things that at one point we were so busy. That's the only guys that they had in the hall. You know, so you're sending out whatever you have just to fill the
Yeah.
spot. And the guy doesn't want to hear that. And I don't blame him. Who wants to hear that? Well, what do you mean that's all you have in the hall? At that point, we were so busy. Everybody was working.
Yeah.
You know, that was a couple of years ago. But now everything's slowed down. Well, I shouldn't say it's slowed down because of the COVID situation.
Things are different
Yeah.
right now.
Right. And it's picking right back up. Construction is moving forward. It's
Well,
moving,
they were the first phase.
right, and it's moving very well. To be quite honest, right now, my company, I worked for Rivco. I actually just retired from there.
We should
They-
pop a bottle for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, really. That's what he brought it for
Yeah.
himself.
Keep right. Start drinking. Which, thank you, by the way,
Yeah, cheers.
Jameson. We're gonna. I don't know where we're putting this. I want to hear what you're saying. By the way,
oh yeah.
I don't know where we're gonna put this alcohol shelf, but we have to put something up.
Oh
because
yeah.
at this,
You guys got bottles
accumulates.
everywhere
at
right
this
now.
point, yeah, I got one over there. I got 3 over here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're good. And I gotta get some glasses, maybe an ice
We're-
maker.
We're
have a
good to
Ken-
get
we'll have-
Patron somehow.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta get Patron. I'll get Kenji a little outfit so he can pour his drinks.
Shots. Dog's gonna pour some shots.
Yes, Dog's gonna put some shots so you can loosen up and tell the story.
So with Rivco, the company I work for, big drywall outfit, they've gotten extremely busy in the last couple of months. I mean, we're finishing up Discovery in Manhattan. That's who we're working for. Right? We're working for Reedy, who's the GC. We're doing Discovery's building, and my company just picked up another 4 or 5 huge jobs. I mean,
great.
so they're busy, and they're like, "You're gonna with us, we're allowed to go back to work 1 week a month, even after you retire. You're allowed to do 39.5 hours." So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I can collect my pension and go back to work for a week, roughly a week. It's
A
40
month.
hours, yeah, 1 month.
And if you don't have to go at all, though, right?
No, you don't. I'm retired, so I don't have
Yeah.
to go.
That's
but
actually a cool deal right there.
sure, because it's funny because my super goes, it was like a month ago, he goes, "Hey, John, you're going to come back to the 39.5 hours once a month, right?" And I looked at him like, "Larry, I didn't even retire yet. How about letting me get out the door first, you know?"
Let me see if I'm bored.
Yeah, you know. But
me
I
a
mean,
week.
think about it, it's roughly $1,300 a week take home, you know, so.
That's
you
not
know,
bad.
No, if you
Yeah.
wanted to take
That's,
home
that-
some
that's-
extra money.
That's the fun money right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something to always think. It's an option I always have, you know, especially with that company. They've been very good to me. I have no complaints. I've been working for them for 2 years solid. You know,
Cool.
Mhm.
I'm
without
sure you've had a
missing a
lot of
beat.
companies you've cycled in and out of with the union.
Oh, yeah.
That you've probably had your fair share of. I'd never want to work on this job with these types of people again.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, these guys, super cool people. I didn't have any issues. All the foremen I've ever worked for, Jose, Willie, Barry, all these guys, super great guys, and the guys on the job. Everybody was great. I mean, I had no beef, no riff with anybody, and it's nice. I can be a very stubborn pain in the ass, obviously. A lot of people do know me from that
We're all-
construction.
I think it's a gym thing too. I think we're just
Well, I've
we know
always been like
we know
that.
what we want to do. We know what
Yeah.
we like, and that's
Yeah.
that.
You know, but I've actually gotten along with everybody on the sites. I haven't had any issues with anybody, even the GC, which is funny. Usually, you know, GC will say something stupid and you'll be one of the first guys. I'd be one of the first guys to throw a quick dig, you know, the other direction, but haven't had any issues with anybody.
That's
Been
awesome.
very good
Yeah.
the last 2 years. I'm very happy with everything.
So out on retirement, on good graces and good moods and
yeah,
good vibes.
yeah, everything's
That's
great
awesome.
right now. Everything's going in the right direction.
And you
know.
have your home gym
Yes.
because we're all dealing with bullshit right now.
Yes, yes. This
And take it how you want because listen, there's a lot of people that don't feel the way that we do, which they're entitled to their opinion. But when you start infringing on livelihoods and you start infringing on people's sanity, like we were saying
Oh, yeah,
earlier,
without a doubt. You know,
because that's why I made. Listen, side note before we kind of get into that portion, I got insane responses from that photo that I took of Bev's front.
oh yeah, without
I-
doubt.
Oh,
I don't-
yeah, that was great.
Dude, I don't know what it was. I was leaving my office and I just said, I should get a picture of the front of it closed down. It's never closed. I said
No.
I should get a picture, black and white, and just throw it up. And I wasn't expecting anything by it. I mean, Steve got almost 3,000 likes on Bev's page.
Oh, yeah,
I
without
wasn't even
doubt.
expecting him to repost it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just being real because, like I said, I meant every single word that I said in that
Sure.
short statement. And I could have kept going. That place is, it's like fucking 7-Eleven. It never closes. So for the gate in the middle of the day or
To be
afternoon
down.
to be closed
Yeah.
and nobody in the parking lot, that's why the people that go there, been there, or are members, that's why that hit home when
Oh,
they
big
saw
time.
that picture. And as I was taking it, I was like, yeah, this is weird. It's weird that the gym isn't open.
It's an uncomfortable weird,
Mhm.
because there is no, it's going to open on such and such a date. This
No, it was
guy
two-
Cuomo
is it
still got everything shut down.
2 weeks
Yeah.
originally. It's 2
Yeah,
weeks.
that was supposed to be back. Oh, we're going to open in June. Oh no, we're going to push it back to July. Oh no. What do you mean?
And
no,
now
no?
there's
we'll
no
we'll
date.
let you know.
Now there's no date.
I mean,
And-
John is a business owner with a gym. He's
Yeah,
feeling it hard.
It sucks.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how they expect people to pay their rent. Well, we're helping. You're not helping anybody.
Well, now they got rid of the 600, which I have double feelings about that. I think it's good because people were too comfortable with just getting money every week and they weren't ready to just go to
Mhm.
work. It sucks because the people that take advantage of that fuck it up for the people that really do need it. That their business is still
100%.
closed.
Mhm.
The
So-
problem, I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't cut you off.
This is me, free talk.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the problem is people like John that have zero income coming in.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That the gym is shut down. There's your livelihood. And how many people do we know? Ultimate Gym in Hicksville closed down.
Yeah.
That was like a kick to the nuts. Not that I've been there before, so many times, but I know the owner just through the grapevine of the
Yeah,
fitness
sure.
industry on Long
Yeah.
Island. Good guy. Never had any problems. I know a lot of people that went there that are super upset. Where do they go now?
Yeah. And there's nowhere to go. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I got lucky. I have some extra money I had. I stashed it away. I did what I had to do. I wound up spending like $7,000 to put stuff in my garage. I don't have air conditioning or nothing. I bought a giant commercial fan. If it's 95 degrees outside, I'm sweating my ass off at 95 degrees
Yeah.
to train.
Mhm.
You know, but I bought everything right now that I felt I needed to just get me through everything. You know, but everything is so dramatically jammed up too because, like, you want to go buy some dumbbells? Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
$3 a pound.
4 at one spot.
Yeah.
I looked at the guy
It's
like, are
crazy.
you out of your freaking mind, bro?
Was that where you got everything?
No, that wasn't where I got
He
everything.
was he was charging. I don't want to say names, but he was charging pretty relatively. Night when I called up and I asked, but he had. When I called up in the intros, I was like, "How much would a rack be?" And he told me what a rack would be, like
Right.
$800. And I'm just like,
Mm.
I can get a Rogue rack for a couple hundred more. That's going to be with me for
Top of the line,
life.
yeah,
It's
top of the line.
top of the line shit. And then I asked him about plates, and they were bumper plates, I believe, whatever they were. And then I said, I don't want bumper plates. I want steel. I
Yeah.
want
Wanna hear the
calibrated
rattle.
steel. I want to hear that rattle
Yeah.
when I'm deadlifting or anything
Yeah.
like that. So Rogue just kind of allowed me to do that. And the cool thing is, and there's a bot on Facebook.
Okay.
So this guy created a robot. Essentially, it's artificial intelligence in some way, and essentially every time you go to Rogue's website, let's say you want 50-pound dumbbells, sold out. They're gonna be.
Right.
You hit notify me, you're never gonna get an email because by the time those go in stock,
They're gone.
they're gone.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
gone within minutes,
Yeah.
seconds sometimes. So this guy created a bot that you put in the code for the item that you want, and it sends you a Facebook message right when it goes on stock on the website.
Wow.
So that's how I've gotten all my stuff.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
it's worked. That grab bag barbell that I told you about,
Right,
I don't know if I told you that.
Not that
I was
one.
waiting for it today because it was supposed to be delivered today. The grab bag barbell essentially is Rogue has barbells that are either used in the CrossFit games or they're just defected, like maybe the knurling doesn't go all the way around or they started it too soon or whatever
Yeah.
like that. It's a beater bar, or it could be a perfectly good bar that they just had that they're just getting rid of.
Yeah,
Right.
pound
So
off.
exactly, $100 they're selling those bars for.
Yeah.
$100. So those grab bag bars, when you type it into the bot that you want a grab bag bar, it shows you how many other people are looking it up. There was like 1,000.
Right,
It's in
right,
the
right,
thousands
right,
of people
right.
waiting every day for that notification. Monday came up, kept trying. Site crashes every time the grab bag barbells go up.
Yeah, I bet.
Finally, like 15 minutes, I stopped looking at it. I'm like, you know what, Nick, don't spend any more money on the home gym. Whatever.
Right.
I go back to it like 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes later. Still doesn't show out of stock. So I said, let me try. Tried for another 2 minutes, got it in the cart, ordered, and shipped.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
that bot is really helpful for getting stuff like that. The rack, they just build it to order.
Right. Okay.
So the rack, they essentially, you order it, and originally I ordered it June 11th.
right.
14 to 28 day turnaround time. I'm just getting it delivered tomorrow.
Wow.
So now the turnaround time says 30 to 60 days. So you can imagine that's gonna be 3 to 4 months.
Oh, yeah.
Rogue
Mhm.
is killing it right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody is. Like I said, the guy that we were talking about, excuse me, earlier was selling. I think the metal dumbbells he had. He was selling for $2 a pound.
Mhm.
But if you wanted the hex head rubber, it was like $3.50 a pound. And if you wanted the
That's
round
crazy.
rubber, it was like $3-4 a pound
Ridiculous.
too. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Imagine just buying a pair of hundreds for yourself. You're spending $700.
Yeah, exactly. I got all the stuff, 90% of the stuff that I have in my garage, except for the power rack and the cable attachment, the lat pull down and the cable row. Everything else I got from the guy in our gym, Todd Cohen. I don't know if you know Todd Cohen. You know?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you know Scott, his brother Scott too.
Probably.
Okay, well, Todd sells equipment, gets equipment, sells
Oh,
equipment.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I tell him I need a calf machine.
You don't
Listen
need
to
a
me.
cap machine.
I
do.
have. He got me a Pre-Core leg press machine. He got me a Pre-Core incline steel bench set. He got me a leg curl, Lifetime, was it Lifetime?
Life Fitness.
Life Fitness leg curl and leg extension machine. Those 4 pieces plus, I think it was 1,000 pounds in plates and a bar. I think it was 6,100.
Not
Wow.
bad at all.
No,
With shipping?
with the guys come and set it up in my garage.
Can we just talk about how you got 1,000 pounds in plates? We all know that that's not enough.
That's
You gotta
funny.
warm up with something.
Why,
Yeah.
why are you pretending?
Yeah, you know, but it was cool because the first thing I said to him was, I need 16 45-pound plates. He looked at me and goes, what? I was was like 1645. Most of it's for legs,
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
but on the sled.
You know what I'm saying?
Slap an 8 on each side. There you go. It's over.
So that's what we're doing, and I'm doing like 25 reps with the thing, and the guy's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, come on."
Don't you see me training ever at
You
best?
know, so it was funny, but
He must have saw you on the day where you're doing calisthenics.
my little stretchy. Yeah, but I ordered those. I got some quarters, some dimes, whatever. But like I said,
Change plates are the
even-
hardest thing to find right now. Change
Yeah.
plates, the smaller ones, they're the ones that are price gouging the most.
Yeah, and the thing was, he tried to hook me up with dumbbells, and he said, "John," he goes, "even with my discount, it's gonna hurt."
Yeah, you don't want it.
So for like from 5 to 50, I think steel was 744, right? For that set.
Mhm.
Another 450 to have it shipped,
Yep.
and tax on top of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, "What are you crazy, man? I can't afford."
That was the
Madness.
that was a hard hit.
that was the issue. I want you know me, I love Meadows. I love Dave Tate.
Yeah.
Super friendly with them. Not Dave, more so Meadows, but with Elite FTS, I originally was gonna order a rack from them. I was speaking to this guy Nate Harvey, super nice guy. I've referred a couple people to him that want fitness equipment,
Right.
and he can quote out stuff with Elite FTS. But by the time, so their Rogue racks ship totally unassembled. It ships freight. I believe they have a better deal with UPS freight than Elite does.
Really.
Because when Nate was giving me a discount on the rack and we were talking about options and this and that, it came back. He gave me a significant discount on the rack. The shipping was almost $1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, dude, I can't do that. I can't sit here like, I'm trying to find the word. I can't sit here willingly knowing that I spend almost $1,000 on shipping.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not worth it because the guys that do freight have to lift heavy shit.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm saying that for me, this rack doesn't really, not that it's not worth it, but it's just not in my favor worth it.
Yeah.
And the guys lifting the actual thing are not getting paid $1,000 to lift it.
No,
No.
they're making a lot of profit.
$20 an
on this.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making a
Without
lot of
doubt.
profit on that. So when I looked at Rogue shipping, when I ordered the rack, it was like $180 for shipping.
Yeah.
I said, done.
Yeah.
Done. And listen, as much as I love Elite, Rogue makes just as good as shit, if not better in some areas.
Oh, yeah.
And their attachments are phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
when I get my own place, I've said it multiple times. This does not substitute Bevs. This
Not
does
at
not
all.
substitute
Not
a
whatsoever.
gym. There may be days where I don't go to Bevs though, and I can lift at home.
100%. There's certain things like
Or have the boys come over and do squatting or whatever.
Right.
Like just everybody just relaxed. You don't have to worry about your friends that don't go to Bevs paying day passes.
Right.
Everyone can just come through and train.
Right. I mean, even for me, because my wife's been training for the last 2 years, so she said it. She goes, everything she needs is here.
Yeah.
So for her to go back to a gym, she says, why? She goes, I come home, I can do what I got to do, and then I go out to the garage and train. Yeah, that works. That works for everybody. I mean, like I said, right now, it works for me to keep me at least moving forward.
Yeah.
Like I said, without Bevs, I'll tell you what, that's a real mental head screw. Nobody gets that. This guy Cuomo, he's shutting everything down on people. People need, this is their release.
An outlet.
Yeah, this is where you walk in the door, your mind goes, brrrt, and you like straighten right out. You're like, you know what you got to do. You're here to train. You're here to do what you need to do for you. This is your body saying, thank you. I needed this all day. This is what I've been waiting for. And now, months and months and months are going by, and people are like,
It's almost a half a year.
right. And
Yeah.
this is where a mental problem could happen. Nobody gets that. Like you hear about people committing suicide. Not saying somebody's going to commit suicide because they're not going to the gym. But these are problems that could, I'm going to say, stem from somebody who has here, let's do it this way. Somebody's got a drug problem. Okay? But they found out going to the gym has now substituted their abuse problem. They stopped the other thing. They went through their therapy. They did everything they had to do. They got rid of that problem. They don't have that drug problem anymore. But this is their new outlet, their new release. You just took that away from them. Now, if they aren't lucky enough like me to have a garage and have some money put away where they can buy what they need to do this, what do?
Shit out of luck.
Back to drugs.
So some people just might. It's a good possibility
No,
that can
not
happen.
some. Most will because
Mhm.
because you got to think, and I want you to say
Yeah.
you got to think about the messages that the government is sending. And it's not just, I'm not going to say it's just federal or anybody, because I think everybody's a bunch of assholes with how they're handling things.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes.
However, especially state level government, you're going to mandate that liquor stores are essential.
Yeah.
The beginning of quarantine, I drank more than I have in almost a year.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day, whiskey. Playing Xbox midday with my boys, whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Whiskey. I was going through bottles in two days, day and a half.
100%.
And I'm just sitting and I'm watching my body composition change, and I'm getting more and more miserable. So I'm drinking more.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy. And I'm sitting around, and my business is shut down, and I'm just kind of
Yeah.
fucking around. So, a person that uses the gym as an outlet, and that person that maybe had a previous addiction, especially to a substance,
Yes.
that now translates that into good function for their body, which is the gym, that gets shut down. Liquor stores are mandated as open.
Yeah.
Well, what are they going to do?
People
Have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? You're going to drink, watch movies, this and that. And then it becomes second nature and a habit to now continually get back into a drinking rhythm.
Yes. And it's sad because there's no reason for it. Listen, if you got a gym owner that says, I can keep my place clean. I know we can keep this place clean. I know we can keep everything 6 foot apart. My patrons are going to wear their masks. If that's the mandate, we'll take care of it. The guy at Tiller Gym in Jersey, I felt horrible for that guy. They arrested him and his partner the other day. That guy, when he first started doing the I'm opening no matter what, he had alcohol bottles with rags for everybody that walked through that door. Everybody had to have their temperature taken. Everybody had to wear a mask. He had everything 6 foot apart. He had it set up to where it functionally worked.
Did anybody get sick from it?
No, the problem is they wouldn't let the guy do it either. He would do the opening, and some people would go in and work out or whatever, but they kept shutting him down. That's another thing. Why didn't you do a study? Why didn't you let that guy open? Why didn't you check all his patrons and see if anybody got sick from going there? Like right now, de Blasio and Cuomo are letting these kids play basketball in the park, right? Who's sweating on top of each other? Who's not wearing a mask? They're yelling at each other. They're spraying spit
No
on
fouls
each
allowed.
other.
No fouls allowed. They actually have to stay from like where I am to the Swiffer over there in the corner.
Yeah.
That's exactly. You can't guard anybody.
No stealing the
Imagine.
ball unless we have time
You know what
to
I'm
spray
saying?
it down first.
You just keep passing to the chucker.
Yeah,
You keep shutting it out.
But these are things that you're listening to and you're looking at what's really going on. You're like, are you out of your mind?
Well, I've said it a couple times. I've said it multiple times that actually I'll say that. I've said it multiple times that you sit there and you go, am I actually mentally sane? Because this is the laws or these are the rules that they're making. And you almost feel like you're so against what they're saying or what they're mandating that you almost self-reflect on yourself and you go, am I wrong? You go, no, fuck no, I'm not.
No.
This is ludicrous.
Yeah. I mean, like I was just telling you guys earlier, I'm on a subway. I'm on a train in the Long Island Railroad. I don't wear a mask. I don't care what anybody says.
Get out that door.
I honestly don't give a shit.
Get out.
Like I said, I had that one woman say to me that one day, you ain't wearing your mask. I'm like, no, and I'm not going to put on a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. I said, you wearing one? You're good. Don't worry about me. Mind your freaking business. Oh, you're supposed to tell on somebody if they don't have their mask on.
Right, go ahead.
You're supposed to make a
Fuck's sake.
phone call. I mean, really? Are you kidding me? I could have swore back in March, Fauci said the masks were useless. They're no good. All of a sudden, he changes his tune. Why? Because he's in with Bill Gates on making some type of freaking vaccine.
Sure.
And it ain't even going to be a vaccine, dude. It's like the flu.
They're going to give it to you every year.
Yeah, exactly. So you might still get COVID, right? You get the flu no matter what sometimes, even if you have the flu shot. So they're just blowing smoke up everybody's ass as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We got till November, and we'll be fine.
Well, of course. Once Trump's back in, it'll all end again, But
It's fucking crazy.
it is. To me, it seems like it's a very big political move, whether I'm right or wrong. I don't know. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to do the politic thing on here because I'm not a politician.
I'm not. We aren't either. We don't. We
It's
constantly
just a
say
lot
we
of
don't.
things
We
you
don't.
It just sucks always knowing the right answer.
Use John. Use your line. What happens in November? No matter who gets in.
I'm going to work on Monday.
No matter what.
Wow,
right?
that sucks.
Yeah.
No,
Are you
there's no.
telling me whoever we vote into office isn't going to pay all my bills?
That's weird. Right?
Hold on a second.
You rally around somebody, just be like, it's just ridiculous. That's why I don't get into debates with people about politics.
You can't.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you like. You could like Trump. You could like Hillary.
Yeah.
You could like Biden, which
That's your opinion.
is kind of insanity if you like Biden, because just looking from the outside in, the dude is like one thread from just his mind imploding on itself. But regardless on that, you could like whoever you want. It's not my it's not my place in life to tell you who you should or shouldn't like.
100%.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't believe that same logic, and they feel that if you don't like the same person as them, that they need to debate you and yell at you and shame you and tell you you're fucking wrong. That's why I just don't say anything. I don't care. I literally don't care. I shoot videos. I do a podcast with dope-ass people.
That's it.
And the homie John and Kenji. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And like I tell everybody, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So, you go with what you feel. And I'm okay with that. And I am. Like I said, you want to vote for freaking Biden? God bless you. Whatever. That's your thing.
Can we just talk about one side thing? Have you seen the creepy pictures of him like biting children's cheeks and shit like that? It's weird. It freaks me out why somebody like that hasn't been really taken and just thrown in a cell. And it's not even because of him politically. I'm talking about a regular man walking around on the street. Yeah. If there was evidence or pictures
like
or
that,
videos,
the dude be in jail.
He'd be in jail. And guess what they do? And you know what they do to people in jail that act like that.
Oh yeah.
So, really,
I was listening to a Tom Segura skit the other day.
Oh God.
Whatever, he was on stage, yeah. And he was talking about he was walking into this bar and there was a lady playing with herself at the bar. He looked back over like, what the fuck's going on? He saw something that looked just a bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
The first thing he asked the audience, he goes, and no, she wasn't attractive. So he went over to the bouncer. He's like, excuse me, can you handle this? He looks over and goes, nope, I can't do anything. The bouncer, he kept saying, can you just go take care of it? Bouncer walked halfway over and goes, I can't do it. He told the hostess, I'm just summarizing this real quick, obviously. Like the female hostess was like, hi, how are you? One of those, bubbly ones.
Yeah.
Like, you mind stopping doing that, please? Everybody can see you. And
people wacky, man.
But Tom was asking, he's like, so she can stay? She stopped? Yeah. Is she done or does she stop? And then he's like, wait a minute. What if I was doing that at the counter?
Oh, you kidding me? You'd be in jail, dude. You'd be in cuffs.
He'd rip his balls. They'd rip your balls off in front of everybody, and then they'd laugh.
Yeah, you'd be in
cuffs. Put it in somebody's martini.
Bill Burr talked.
Can I stir your drink?
Bill Burr talked about that on his podcast, on a skit, actually, like an actual comedy skit. I'll have to send it to you, about just how the sexism is so different for men. And it was and you know what? Actually, Joe Rogan mentioned it too in his comedy skit. He was talking about how there was a smoking hot, like 24 or 25-year-old cop, undercover cop chick that was put almost like Jump Street, put into high school. She pretended to like this kid. She was his girlfriend, whatever. She got him to get weed for her and sell it to him, and then she arrested him. And they said, could you imagine if the roles were reversed and it was a guy doing that to a 14-year-old girl?
Oh, no.
It's just like, what?
Oh, yeah, no.
It's
wild. That would be the creepy cop doing his thing the wrong way, That's exactly what that would be.
My favorite thing of the feminist movement is
oh, God, here we go.
Is picking and choosing.
Picking and choosing.
Where it's, I think it was a Bill Burr thing again. It was one of those guys.
Yeah, I gotta send you. I have so much shit with Bill Burr, which is fucking. It's insanely funny with what he talks about with that type of shit.
It's like, well, hold on a second. Well, we don't want to split the bill 50-50, but we want that. That sounds nice.
Yeah. It's. I mean, we can talk about this forever. It's just like insanity. Let's shift.
Yeah.
let's shift back to the gym because we'll be here for days.
Well, like I was saying with the gym, though, you have somebody who really needs this. This is their only outlet. Some people don't have any other hobbies. Some people don't like any other hobbies. They go to work all day long. They want to come home. They change. They go to the gym. And it's not only a gym thing where that may be their social connection on top of everything. You know what I'm saying? They have people that are at the gym that say the guy isn't a hardcore trainer or the girl isn't a hardcore trainer, but they made friends at the gym. So they go there. They might do some type of exercise, but they're talking to people. They're socializing. It's a place for them to unwind, whatever their case may be. I'm not saying guys like us, because we go there, we bullshit with each other for a few minutes, but then we all go right back to what we were doing.
Yeah.
I throw my headset on and I just go. You guys see it. You guys do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, it becomes a real outlet for their mental health, period. Like right now, I'm doing a challenge. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Push-up challenge.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay? It's for The reason it's 22 for 22, every day, 22 vets have been taking their lives. Suicide. It's insane. There's no reason these men, these women come back from Afghanistan or wherever their tour is, and they feel that they have nothing more to either contribute or get or fit in here anymore, and they're taking their lives. So for me to do 22 push-ups just to say, you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
And again, I will be passing the challenge down because it was passed to me from a friend of mine, Scott in Palm Coast. I will be passing it on, and there is no reason me or anybody else can't do 22 push-ups in 22 days to show these people, listen, if there's anything else we could do, just to show you we love you and whatnot, listen, just tell us. I'd be more than willing to help.
I love the veterans, man.
Oh, yeah.
They put it all on the line for us.
Hey, my dad was a vet, man. My dad was in the Navy, man.
Grandpa was part of the, I believe he was the Navy.
Yeah, my grandfather couldn't serve. My grandfather was deaf in one ear, but he worked on the docks and did whatever he could to help in that effort.
Mhm.
My dad served in the Navy, and he was there for a long time, a couple of years, 4 years, I think he was in the Navy. And he did 2 years in reserves.
I saw a video this morning, a news story online. I'm sorry, not online, on Fox News actually, because it was just like passing the channels. And there was a whole thing that they're putting homeless in the city up in 4-star hotels, and they're bringing them back to neighborhood. They're putting it specifically in areas or neighborhoods. And I don't know how the validation of this.
Right,
I'm just
Yeah.
I kind of came in.
It sounds nice.
It sounds nice, but it's infesting the neighborhoods that they got the homeless out of to begin with, and that they built up these neighborhoods, and now they're going back and that type of stuff. But my first reaction mentally is, obviously, you can't help everybody, no matter what.
No,
There's always something that gets left out, and then everyone gets butthurt over it. But me personally, it's like, listen, I get being homeless is I'm sure it's a horrible thing.
Sure.
Fortunately, I've never experienced it. Nobody that I personally know has ever experienced it, because I would lend a helping hand, God forbid, my friends or circle or my family.
Right.
But you're putting homeless up in a 4-star hotel. What happens to the vets?
Yeah.
And now there's not anything that says that those weren't homeless vets. But my first reaction was the people that served this country, that put their lives on the line. And then there was a commercial for a guy who went to Iraq perfectly fine, and then they threw there was like some type of a fuel tank that they threw at him, and his platoon blew it up, lost his leg because his face was on fire, and he fell off the tank and couldn't see, lost his leg. They had to amputate it, and his whole face, handsome dude too, whole face is mangled from being on fire, and his whole body. And like that guy, his child, he has a little girl, his child should never have to worry about college.
No.
Money.
Mm-hmm.
She should never have to worry about health insurance. She should never have to worry about any of that. And guess what? She probably will have to. And it's bullshit.
Of course. Like I said, any vet, I feel, that served, I don't care if they went overseas or not, you served. There is no reason you are not, I'm not saying hand-fed, taken care of, but there is no reason there aren't more opportunities for you.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't matter, man, woman, color, gender, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You serve
Human beings.
this country. There is no reason you don't have a leg up somewhere along the line.
It's like their own version of like a Medicare, Medicaid. Just give them something.
Yes, like you're saying, there is no reason. And say, God forbid, they don't come home. There is no reason that the government doesn't step up and take care of that family. None. I don't care what anybody says. There is no reason you can't find a home or housing for these people and put them where they need to be. Make sure that child does get an education. And I'm not talking about just that child. Every child in this country needs an education, and they should. I mean, honestly.
You as a father and a grandfather.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we as a society, I mean, this is America, right? Supposedly the land of the free, the home of the brave, opportunity for everybody. Why do we have homeless? Why do we have hungry children? Why do we have homeless children?
Bad. Homeless is bad.
And and everybody's worried about other countries with homeless and children.
Worry about your own.
That's it. I mean, take care of what's here first, please. Let's take care of what's here first. I'm not saying don't help anywhere else, but take care of here first. And then whatever we can do for everybody else, okay. I never have a problem with any of that. But I have a problem when I see families living in shacks. They don't have anything to eat. These kids haven't eaten in 2 or 3 days. They finally get a meal. You know, they go to school in tattered clothing. That's wrong.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that. We are one of the wealthiest countries around. And I mean, I don't think I'm wrong,
No.
you know,
No.
but there is no reason for the problems we have. The problems all stem from, well, I belong to this, I belong to that. Oh no, we can't work
My
together.
party doesn't
That's
view that as a problem.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You want to know something? That's why we have the problems we have, because they can't come together. They can't work together. Nobody wants to say, oh, not even, you're not cowering. You're not, but to come together and say, listen, we really need to fix these problems. You know, it's not a political issue. This is people's lives.
Mhm.
You know, it's not a political issue anymore.
Human issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's human lives. It's people that actually need the government to really step up and help them. And it's falling through the cracks. It just doesn't happen.
But it always does. I mean, think about it. You have to think about it from a perspective of how long people are in office, and not just the president. We're talking about Congress people. We're talking
Of
about
course.
everything.
Of course.
All these people that say they give a fuck, they don't care. They
No.
don't give a shit about you,
No.
your problems.
No.
What they do is they bend wills and they try to change mental perspectives of people around rooting for them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
Mhm.
you know, you're a veteran. I'm gonna take care of you when I get in office. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna take care of you. 20 years later, what happened?
Yeah.
You haven't done anything.
Yeah, I'm in
You know
office
nothing.
for 20 years.
You must
making
have
my money.
you must have forgot what your initial cause was.
Yeah.
That's a lot of these fucking people.
I know.
And
I
it's
know.
and it's a disgusting, seedy business
Yeah.
because whoever has the hands in each other's pockets. Listen, I actually think I got censored on it. I really do.
Okay.
I put up on Facebook today. I reshared this guy, guy talking to Congress about how big tech is censoring everybody unless they're a viewpoint that matches up with them. So if
100%.
it's a conservative view, they censor it. Just like the hydroxychloroquine shit, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Mhm.
I'm not saying, me personally, that I believe that that's a cure. I'm not saying I believe it's a treatment. I don't personally care. Not that I don't care because it hasn't affected me, not like that, but eventually the real truth will get out and
Right.
you'll know about if it actually does anything or not. I don't personally give a fuck, but I want to see everything.
Yes.
I don't want to be told, no, I'm like a child. The parent doesn't believe it. Big Google, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't believe in this viewpoint.
Right.
They shield the eyes.
Yeah.
No. Just look this way. This is what we believe in.
No, it should all be on the table.
Yeah.
I should be able to see everything.
Isn't that
Well-
the point of just
well,
a free
let's-
world?
I just heard Ohio has banned hydroxychloroquine to be used in the whole state.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, how do you ban something?
That's
Listen,
been around since
Crazy.
the 60s?
it's been around 60 years. Now, the funny part about that is the president was taken as a
Precautionary thing.
precautionary thing. That one doctor that was in front of the courthouse in Washington, the black doctor from Nigeria,
Yeah.
she's saying it works, and it works as
And then everyone's bringing up all of her dirty, anything that she
Right.
said that's
Mm.
bad.
Of
It's
course.
like, oh my God,
But the
relax,
thing
everybody.
is, listen, if it really does work, why would you stop people from using it? Why would you not allow? You know,
Because the medical industry
them
is
a
a
shot.
fucking joke.
it is, and you know
Mhm.
the worst part about it? It's all about money. It
Cool.
comes down to the same thing. It's
Why
all
cure
about
somebody?
money.
Your business, that's like,
But the problem is, look at all the people that are dying. I mean, if this is true, if the numbers are real, well, then guess what? Everybody up on Capitol Hill and all these doctors that are saying that it's bullshit, all you's got blood on your hands. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Yous are all guilty of murder because that's what's happening. If you're allowing these people to die, that's murder. You should all be in jail.
Yeah.
Period.
Hmm.
You know, anybody could say, "Oh, John, you don't know what you're talking about." Okay, maybe I don't. But if you're looking at it through my eyes, when I see people saying one thing, another thing, and another thing, okay, well, I get to form an opinion too. Like
Yeah.
I just said, everybody's got an opinion.
dude from the Eagles, Mills? I don't know. Jalen Mills? I don't know who I forget his full name, the Eagles player. But anyway, he reposted the Nigerian doctor, right? Nigeria, was that it?
Yeah, she's from Nigeria.
Yeah. The Nigerian doctor, her talking about this, and then everybody attacks him.
Of
Why?
course.
Why can't he have an opinion? Why? It doesn't mean that he's right. Doesn't mean he's wrong.
Because it doesn't fit their format.
Mhm.
It doesn't fit their narrative.
And this is exactly why, and this comes full circle, why I love the gym. because
Yeah.
no one gives a
Yeah.
fuck who you
No.
are, what you think.
No.
It's wow, you look great.
Yeah.
Wow, you want to work out? You want to hit legs
Mhm.
on Saturday? This and that. It's
Are
it's
you prepping for a show?
most of these
or
fucking people
whatever?
talking shit on Instagram and all these people talking shit on Facebook should probably go to a real gym
Nah.
and train. And no, I'm saying
They wouldn't.
and they would never. But
Yeah.
I'm saying they should train and understand what it actually feels like to know people from all walks of life in the earth.
And you know what the funny part about it is? In our gym, you have doctors, you have lawyers, and all these guys train just as hard as we do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, they throw for an hour, 2 hours, they do everything that we do. And it's funny because I make fun of them, they make fun of me. But it's like a competitive thing, you know, and we joke around with each
Yeah.
other. But I mean, we have all sorts of professionals at our gym
Mm-hmm.
outside of construction, or we're talking about people that work in offices. Like I said, doctors, lawyers, whatever. And these people, they get it.
Yeah.
You know, they get it. They understand. I speak to a couple of these guys every once in a while too, you know, either through Instagram or whatever, or they have my phone number and like, yo, how you holding up? How's everything? You know? I'm like, yeah, you know, getting by. You know, I did this, I did that, and I started buying some equipment or whatever. And they're like, yeah, you know, that's a great idea. I wish I could. You know, how about an invite? You know, and I'm like, listen, you never need an invite, man. You know where I live. You're more than welcome to swing by anytime you want.
But now something like that, where you're not going to properly sanitize every little thing like a gym could do. You might, sure, but not like a monitored gym can do.
No, not at all.
So you're forcing people to go to their buddy's garage in 95-degree weather.
Where
to
germs are probably kicking.
They got it. They're growing. They're festering. You know what I mean?
I gotta be honest, man. I've mentioned this to a few people. I feel like our immune systems are rock solid, and that's not to sit here and say that we can't get infected with anything.
I
but,
had it.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
I had it back in. They shut my job. My job site got shut down March 17th.
And how old are you?
I just turned 55.
Okay.
Okay,
So you would be more at risk technically.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they shut my job site down on the 17th of March. Okay, I got sick on the 27th of March, and meanwhile, I had found out that there was 12 guys sick on our job site, which I had no idea. Now you got to remember, everybody's touching elevator buttons, everybody's doing this, doing
Mhm.
that. You know, you're on
Great.
top of each
Eating
other
your-
trying to
eating
get.
your food.
You're on top of each other trying to work. Electricians are pulling cable. You're trying to build a wall. Tin knockers above you. Whatever. You know, it's a construction site. It's the way things are.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden on the 27th, I'm going to my wife. I said, you know, I really don't feel good. She goes, what's the matter? I said, I got this headache. And it started with the headache. Okay, I said to her, because we have a big 2-family house, but I took the whole house over. So upstairs is our bedrooms. Downstairs is the living quarters. You know, living room, dining room, all that stuff. So I said to her, she goes, let me take your temperature. Sure enough, I'm running 102 fever. I was like, all right, I think I'm sick. I was like, I'm staying up here. I said, everybody else needs to stay downstairs. And let me tell you something, my wife was a champ, man. She was like the super nurse. I mean, she brought me my food upstairs. I get up in the morning to go take a hot shower or whatever to get, you know, knock off the nighttime grime from sweating or whatever. Changed all my sheets. Before I even got out of the shower, the whole bed was remade, everything done. Food were waiting for me. She'd have a mask on, the whole 9 yards. I come out of the bathroom, she'd go in the bathroom. She'd bleach down the whole bathroom, my wife. She kept this place spotless. So I went from having the headache to the fever to the no taste, no smell. Then body aches. And when I say body aches, my man, I mean, it's like you worked out for a month straight and you couldn't move. I felt like my hip bones were going to blow through my sides of my leg.
Mm.
That's how bad it was. I never had any breathing issues. That's the one thing I can honestly say. I never had any respiratory problem whatsoever. So that's where I think, like us, how we do cardio and everything else. You gotta remember, most people that have been really getting horribly sick and dying are all people with pre-existing conditions. I'm not saying everybody. There are other
Mhm.
people that died that had no pre-existing conditions. But 99.9% of them have something else wrong with them. You know, overweight, obesity, whatever. But I had it for 6 days. And it was funny because after the third day, my wife's like, let's take you to First Med to walk in.
Get you tested.
Right. So I walk in, the guy's like, I can't test you. He goes, I don't have any more tests. He goes, but I'm telling you right now, you have. He goes, I know you.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right. So like I said, after like the 6th day, fever broke. I was fine. You know, I started recuperating.
And you've been good since.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was funny because they told me, I called up to get the test. I wait 3 weeks. And they're finally like, okay, Mr. Whalen, we could test you. I'm like, yeah, but I was sick 3 weeks ago. We'll take the test anyway. So now I got to go to the Bronx, Beechhurst, I think it was.
Ugh.
Right? Okay, I wait on this long line. They stick this thing in my nose. You know, you can't get out of your car. Windows have to stay up. I get the test results like 4 days later. Negative. I'm like, okay. I go back to First Med like the week later.
Antibody test?
Boom, you got the antibody. I'm like, okay, so I did have it.
How'd they draw the blood? Was it a finger prick or a real blood test?
No, real blood test. The guy popped the vein.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, but he said to me, he goes, guarantee this comes back. He goes, because he was the same guy that told me I was sick. And I saw him. He goes, oh, I remember you. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm a kind of hard face to forget, you know. So he's like, all right, you should have the test results in like 3-4 days. Sure enough, you know, you go on.
He said this comes back as in you had it or you're going to get it again.
No, he says if you have the antibodies, that means you definitely had it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I go online, you know, you have the porthole where you can look at your own tests and everything. And it said, sure enough, positive. And then I get the email. You came back as positive for COVID, blah, blah, antibodies.
Now they're tracking you.
I guess.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So, but I mean, okay, I was sick. My wife didn't get sick. My kids didn't get sick. And if they did, nobody had any symptoms.
Yeah.
In the same house, and you must have been carrying it for a couple days before you even felt
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And how's this? My oldest son, the oldest guy,
Yeah.
he works in a nursing home 5 blocks from my house. He gets checked for COVID every couple of days, you know, because he works in a nursing home. So they got to swab him or whatever. He's fine the whole time, and he's with them all day long.
Interesting.
Yeah, right?
It's weird.
It's crazy.
It's a very weird thing.
That's why I keep getting very, you know, I'm listening
Mixed emotions
to
and feelings.
I hear everything everybody's saying.
But we were
and
talking about before, the new mandate's going to be you need to wear goggles. So you're going to be wearing your goggles from now on, right?
You're going to have to wear a scuba tank everywhere.
You out of your freaking mind.
Scuba tank? Is that what you said?
A scuba tank.
I mean,
Totally
I mean,
submerged.
like I said, all of a sudden they're going to try and do more mandates. I mean, give me a break. Like I said, you got outdoor dining here, for instance. My wife throws me a surprise retirement party. Caught me completely off
saw
guard
that.
on Sunday, right?
Mm.
I had 30 people at one table. Nobody's wearing a mask. Because we're all eating.
You're supposed to wear a mask when you get up to go to the bathroom.
Well, that's what I did. I had to walk 60 feet to go to the bathroom,
It's
so I
so
put on my mask. But I'm like, really? But there's indoor dining out on the island. But Cuomo and de Blasio won't let indoor dining in Manhattan. Why? So now you got people going from Manhattan to Long Island. Does it really make sense?
No.
That's how much of a moron these two guys really
Well,
are.
unfortunately, you just have. I know people say that that's not the way. It's not going to go anywhere. It is what it is. It's here.
Yes.
So, granted, it's good that we're not. If we ever you had it, but if John and I ever say got it, hopefully we don't.
Right.
Or if we have had it already and we wouldn't even know.
Probably have.
That's what I'm saying.
But my thing is, you'd rather get it 6 months into it being here than a week into having the pandemic and they're putting people on ventilators for no fucking reason.
Well, that was another thing. I have a couple of friends of mine who are, their wives are nurses. They're friends of mine and my wife's. I'm like, what did you think about them putting people on ventilators? I think they put them on way too early. And they, you know, these are people who I'm very friendly with. I've known them years.
No sugarcoating, just straight up.
You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they were like, well, don't you think we should wait a while? No, got to be put on a ventilator. Why?
Trach them.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all they knew.
Yeah. Why? Because they get $30,000 to $50,000 a pop for everybody getting put on a ventilator. That's some serious freaking money.
Yeah.
And for somebody to do that, and there was no real reason
Some
to
evil
do that,
shit.
you know, that to me is, bullshit. How do you even say, well, the guy had a heart attack or the guy had pneumonia? Well, it was COVID related. How is it COVID related?
I know somebody who, she's a nurse, one of my clients, and they had somebody come in from a fatal car crash. They swabbed him, tested positive for COVID death.
Oh, shit. In a car accident. That's hilarious.
Totaled the car.
Yeah.
Destroyed it. Obviously, mangled his body. But they swabbed him after he passed away. COVID death.
Yeah. Well, now the new thing is, too, what are they saying? If you're one person and you're around 17 other people and you're infected with COVID, probably those 17 people got COVID. So we're going to lump them into the positive number. How do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you honestly say 17 other people got sick when you didn't test anybody?
Well, that's also why you know that most of the numbers are a crock of shit.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I know.
has to
I know
be.
that. Well, I know that. I've heard and read articles, and listen, I never say that I know exactly what's going on, and I know
None of
you
us
don't. You're
do.
not either, and I know John doesn't either. But I'm not sitting here saying that the numbers aren't that big. But what I am saying is when you have multiple people saying, and who knows if they're right or wrong, but you have multiple people saying, I signed up to go get the test done, didn't wait around, and it came back that I was positive for COVID. I never got tested. Something to me feels off.
Yeah.
Feels weird.
Yeah.
I don't really buy it. Listen, I have friends that are nurses that told me it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. Yeah, the hospitals are full, but since early June, they've been empty.
Right.
Multiple hospitals, I know that.
Right.
And then I put up last week Dr. Fauci at the baseball game, the Mets game,
without his mask?
on.
Yeah,
And then I had somebody that I know arguing with me
Yeah.
on the post. Yeah, but he's with his wife and somebody that he's quarantined with. I go, I don't give a fuck. He's in the public eye. Wear your fucking mask. How about that? How about if you're gonna sit here and point fingers and tell people you can't do that, you can't go to the baseball game. I can.
Yeah.
You can't go to the baseball game.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Or like Cuomo when he came back from
he said he didn't
Georgia.
he
No,
didn't
I don't
have to
Yeah.
quarantine.
What? Government official, right? I don't have to. I'm essential.
My
The
favorite
fuck
thing
out of
is
here.
When this all started, too, he was looking pretty sharp the whole time. Never missed a haircut.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
Never missed a tanning session. That
No.
douchebag. I swear to God, man. I see him out. I'm gonna heckle. I hope I see his brother. I really do. I can't.
His brother
stand
who
his
doesn't know
brother.
the Constitution.
He's
Where
an
does it
idiot.
say you got to peacefully protest? How about like the first line
He's an idiot.
of the
Yeah.
amendment?
I can't. You know me. I love everybody. I
Yeah.
really do. I can't stand the circus that they allowed it to happen. But you sit here and you're going to point fingers and do that. But like I said, I got just to kind of round trip it. I got into an argument with somebody online, and then this girl who had COVID, very bad, like she was
Full blown.
ventilated,
Yeah.
everything like that. She messages me. She says, "I don't think you understand how bad this is," and starts giving me facts and all this stuff. Shows me her X-rays, this and that. I said, "I'm not debating it. I'm not saying I don't wear a mask. I wear a mask when I go to a grocery store.
Right, like I'm supposed to.
I said, I wear a mask when I go to a restaurant if I have to, just until I sit down, this and that." I said, but for us to sit here, you are going to lecture me on what I don't know. I said, I know you went through a lot. I give you credit. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
I said, but for the majority of people, it doesn't happen like that.
No.
And to be ruining people's businesses and livelihood right now, I don't think this is all worth it. I think that if somebody is really that afraid to be out,
Don't go out.
don't go out, stay home. And I said to her, I know what your next argument is going to be without her even sending the next message. I said, I know what your next argument is going to be. Well, if the people that are scared have family members that are going out, they're going to bring it back to them. That is a combined risk reward for that family to decide.
Yeah.
If you and your wife sit down before you even had it and you say, listen, honey, I got to go to work. I have to make us some money. We don't have anything coming in. Can't get whatever the circumstance or situation
Sure.
may be. And your wife goes, listen, I understand. Be as safe as possible for the time being. We'll get through this, whatever. That is a combined family effort of you can go and make the money. I don't want somebody from the Midwest that loves collecting this extra money sitting here telling me you're putting me and my family at risk. Stay home.
Yeah.
Stay fucking home.
Well, that's another thing. It seemed to hit older people, supposedly. It didn't hit the younger. It did hit some younger kids.
I know a kid. Not to cut you off. I know a kid,
No.
30 years old in Connecticut. He was linked up with Josh York's company, Gym Guys.
Yeah.
He was a franchisee.
I heard he passed away.
You know the guy I posted about him. He
Mhm.
died. I was shocked.
Yeah, I heard
Not
that.
this. Listen, I don't know if he vaped. I don't know his whole background.
Whatever.
But on the outside, generally looking in, kid in good shape, young.
Yeah,
That was probably the only thing that worried me at first.
yeah. I got that. I heard the same thing, that same story. And it might have been from you. I might have heard
I
it
probably
from
put
you.
it on my
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
But like I said, you can't shut down an economy the way that he's doing it now, him and de Blasio.
Mhm.
Okay?
A lot of governors.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and guess what? It's probably just in mostly the Democratic states.
It
But
is.
whatever.
From what you're viewing.
Yes. From what everybody's viewing. I mean, regardless, the problem still becomes you're shutting down the economy so hard and so tight. Okay? And people that when you are starting to allow people to reopen,
Mhm.
right? Most people are making more money on unemployment than they are when they go to work.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Let's be honest.
Mhm.
Okay? I know people that are like, why would I go back to work? Why won't I just ride this out? Okay, yeah, you can. But this is my thing. You have a job. This guy's reopening or this woman's reopening. They need you back at work.
Mhm.
They're relying on you. You're their employee. So now you're not going to come back to work because you're making more money on a
Temporarily.
right.
Yeah.
Now
You're burning a bridge for a temporary increase in monetary, gain.
there was another guy I'm going to give you a quick story about. He has almost like a Jiffy Lube, changing oil.
Mhm.
He had a couple of employees. They all went on the unemployment thing because he had to shut down, blah, blah, blah. Guy I know goes in there to get an oil change. He goes, why is the owner changing the oil? He goes, because he couldn't get his guys to come back to work. They're making more. So what did the guy do? He says, no problem. I'm reporting all of you.
And the unemployment gets cut off.
He goes, I'm going to report all of you to unemployment. He goes, and guess what? After I'm done reporting you, don't come fucking back here because you ain't got a fucking job.
Love it.
Because now he's got to rehire people and either show them how to do it or maybe they're mechanics that couldn't come and do the job.
Mhm.
But regardless, this guy's relying on you. He paid you for how many years you worked for him or whatever.
You have rapport with this person. He
And
probably
turn
said,
around and
said happy holidays.
Stick it in the guy's ass. I mean, come on,
Don't
man.
be spiteful because you're fucking lazy.
Well, that's another problem. You just made lazy people even lazier.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I just stay here and collect for free and not have to go back to work? Listen, man, I've been working for 39 freaking years, and I finally got to retire. I went to work every goddamn day I could. And you guys know I've been through the freaking ringer with operations and everything else in the later ends of my life here. I mean, I could have got out on Social Security disability if I wanted to play the freaking game. I got so many screws and rods and shit inside me. I didn't.
And I'm sure in inclement weather, I'm not sure. I know in inclement weather because my dad had some shit done to him like that. That shit locks up or that shit hurts even more.
You know, and people don't get it. You know, I get up every morning. It takes me 5-10 minutes to get out of bed. I sit on the edge of the bed. I start to try and stretch and relieve some pressure here and there. You know, in 2014, I was training for the Masters Nationals. Okay, in the leg press machine, the sled at Bev's. And I felt like my hips didn't feel right.
You could tell.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was cocked. I could feel it. I knew I wasn't where I had to be body-wise. But of course, you know me at the point, I'm like loading the shit out of it.
Fuck it. Put another one on.
Got 10 weeks before the Nationals. I got to train hard, right? Fourth rep, man. All of a sudden, pop.
Oh.
And I felt this crazy pain. And meanwhile, the sled's coming down. I grab my knees and I push as hard as I can with my legs and my hands. And I get
Were
the
you training
sled back.
alone?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That was the worst part. I get to lock it. I get it back up. I think I had 12 or 13 plates on each side. I lock it. I'm like, oh, God, I can't get out. I'm like, I can't get up. I finally just wait a couple more minutes, take a couple of good deep breaths, and I lunge for the top of the machine
Just
to
to
pull myself up.
grab it.
I get up, I get out. Sure enough, now I got to unload this freaking machine. I can barely move. I unload the whole machine.
Nobody would have. By the way, nobody would have faulted you for unloading it.
But I unload it, right? And that was on a Thursday night. Everybody usually knows I did legs on Thursdays. This doctor, Jim Ligori, he's in our gym. A lot of guys know him. He's a neurologist. I didn't train till Sunday. I didn't actually train Sunday. I came into the gym just to see him. Wayne, my buddy who owns Legend Nissan, said, John, Ligori's a really good doctor. Come see this guy. So I make my way into the gym just to see him. He's like, John, come in tomorrow morning. He goes, I'll give you a couple of injections to relieve your back. He goes, and then we'll get you an MRI and see where it goes from there. Like, all right. I get there Monday morning right before he opens. He brings me right into the back, injects me up. He sends me to an MRI right then and there.
And he inject what into you?
Some type of a numbing and relaxing agent. I'm not exactly sure, to be
I
quite
didn't know
honest,
if it was
what it was.
specific.
Yeah. So he hit me in like 2 spots in my back. He says, where does it really hurt? And it was roughly at L4, L5, S1 area.
Yeah, that's where I have herniations.
Right. Well, there was nothing left, which we found out later on. I do the MRI. He's like, your back doesn't look good, dude. It's pretty banged up. So I was like, I got 10 weeks for the master. Maybe I could still do this. Yeah, that's how stupid I was. So I go to this guy.
A lot of us are, not just you.
Yeah. So, what's the name of the place? It's a therapy place, professional therapy. Guy Jeff Yelan, really good guy with backs, really good dude. Out in I think it was the Huntington office. He's like, come in. Let me see what I can do for you. And he did relieve a bunch of the pressure, but I really still couldn't train. I couldn't bend over, really. I couldn't do anything. So for 2 weeks, he worked on me. He's like, John, you might be able to do the show. I'm like, Jeff, if I can't train the way I want to train, I'm not going to be able to do this. So finally, he goes, John, I don't know if this is going to happen. So his friend, this guy, Matthew Goldstein, is an orthopedic surgeon. He goes, this is my friend. He goes, there's 3 other guys. He goes, I'm telling you, talk to this guy. I recommend him. He goes, but there's 3 other names. He's out of Orthopedics of Manhasset. I go see him finally, I think it was September. And I got hurt in
September of what year?
2014. And I got hurt in April.
Mm.
So I was trying to do the physical therapy thing and trying to, even after I said I wasn't going to do the show, I still went to Jeff the whole summer just to try and get loose. I didn't want to have the surgery if I didn't have to. So I finally go to Goldstein and he's like, yeah, dude, he goes, there's no way around this. He goes, we're going to have to operate.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so that was September. And then he made me wait a month. He goes, I want to make sure that this is something you really want to do. I'm not going to go and then you tell me you don't want the surgery. So October 1st, we finally went in. Oh, no, I'm sorry, October 4th. We went into St. Francis Hospital. That's where he did the surgery. And he did it. He went in through my stomach.
Mhm.
He put a titanium spacer in my spine at S1 L5. There was nothing left. He goes, when we went in there,
Yeah.
there was nothing. He goes, the disc was completely gone. So they put that in, and it was supposed to be like a 2 to 3 hour operation. I was under the knife for 5.
Wow.
Yeah. So after they put the spacer in my spine with 2 screws,
Mhm.
they closed me up, flipped me over, cut my back, put in 4 more screws and 2 rods, you know? And I was in the hospital, I think, 5 days because there was so much scar tissue in my back from a surgery prior to that years ago
Mhm.
that they had to put a drain in my back. So after the 5th day, they finally let me go home and
Mhm.
everything was good. So all of a sudden, he tells me, well, I think it was the end of December, beginning of January. He's like, John, you can go back to the gym just to do upper body sitting. Nothing with pressure down, but if you want to do chest, maybe a little bit of arms where you're not having anything straight down on you, fine.
Just make sure your core is stabilized too.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
That didn't happen.
I wind up, I'm in the incline machine with the handles where the bars come up, blue and white
Oh, yeah.
machine. Right?
Yeah.
And it felt great. Yeah. All of a sudden, I tear my shoulder. I'm like, are you kidding me? So now I tear my left shoulder. And I didn't just tear my left shoulder. I tore the rotator cuff from front to back, and I snapped the supraspinatus tendon on top of it.
Oh my God.
So as of, what was that, March, I think 15th or something like that, we went in to do my shoulder. So I'm
Mhm.
recovering from back surgery still, and now I got to have my shoulder done.
Yeah.
You know, so that was another 6 months on top of a recovery on top of that with the shoulder injury.
Just
I'm
because
like,
why not at this point?
it was crazy.
Sounds
you
like
know?
sounds like that was your 2020.
Yeah.
Stack them up.
You know,
Yeah.
so 2014 in October, back surgery. March 2015, shoulder surgery, right? And then I finally get my pro card in what, 2017? No, 2018. 2017, I finally did the nationals. I took first in the middleweights, but I didn't win the pro card. It's like, okay.
Then we did a video. You and I did a video after that.
Right.
Mm.
And then I wound up doing Team U. Get my pro card at Team U in 2018. Right? Then 2019, I decided to do the New York Pro. Oldest guy in the New York Pro,
That
by
was
the
cool,
way,
man.
212.
Yeah.
7 weeks before the New York Pro, I tear my right shoulder.
Yep.
Doing side lateral raises. I'm doing 50-pound dumbbells. I'm going. All of a sudden, and you heard it. I had my headphones in. I'm like, what the hell was that noise?
Mhm.
I was like, that hurt. I try to lift my arm again. I'm like, that's not. I go down to a 20-pound dumbbell. I'm like, that's not happening. I'm like, here we go. So now I'm going.
Back in.
Yeah. So I waited.
Yeah.
I did the show.
Yeah,
I
you
wound
did.
up. I wound up.
And you look great.
training.
And you look
thank
fucking
Thank
great.
you. I
Yeah.
wound up training around the whole thing.
Mhm.
I was going for laser therapy, and this woman was doing some type of TRT on me, relief,
Mhm.
trying to get it to loosen up. And the night of the show, I don't know if anybody saw, I just couldn't hold my arm up anymore at one point. My arm was like dragging on the side of me
Ugh.
after posing for a little while. And it was funny because Bev was helping me with some of my mandatory poses for a couple of weeks out, and she keeps going to me, John, your right shoulder keeps dropping. I'm like, Bev, torn my shoulder. I said, I got a torn rotator cuff. She's like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, all right. She goes, well, can you hold it up? And I was like, yeah, I can hold it. I said, but the way, because she made me go over and over and over my poses. You know, Bev's tough.
Yeah.
You know, she's making
Well,
sure you're spot on, you know?
And she's also doing what they're going to do to you in a show.
Exactly. So near the end, I was holding it for as long as possible. And she's like, all right, you'll be fine. I think you're going to be okay. And I was, for most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I didn't have to do as many mandatories as all because I didn't make top 10. So, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great experience. You know, I enjoyed doing it. But then again, right after that, a week later, I was right back in the hospital and getting another shoulder repaired. You know?
And then he had his arm laced up, and he was in there doing one arm shit with the other arm.
Well, nobody gets that. You know, your body actually feeds. It's neural connection. You know, like so when I had my left shoulder done, I was working out the right side of my body. After I had my right shoulder done, I was working out the left side of my body. It stimulates it. You know, the neural path works. It doesn't matter. Everybody's like, aren't you afraid your other arm's going to get bigger than that? No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I was never worried about any of that.
You're not going full that with the other one.
No,
Yeah,
and it wasn't
stimulate.
any of that. And it wasn't any of that. Nobody realized that. And I worked out pretty decent. Well, you know, I gave what I could, you know, for most part with just one arm. But I have no imbalance. You know, if you look at me, you know, when I take off my shirt or something, it looks normal. Nothing looks bigger than the other.
That picture from our shoot.
Yeah. That was a great picture.
Cool.
I love that picture.
You know, if I could do it differently, you know, because I had just gotten that flash strobe, there might have been like one or two things I would have done a little differently with that. But I don't know, just there's so much emotion in that picture.
Yeah.
Just from everything you've gone through, going forward. It was just, but symmetry wise, everything is just like you could right down the middle and it just looks the same on both sides. It's,
that was a great picture.
Yeah.
My wife loves that picture.
We'll just get ripped again real quick. What do we do?
What do you mean get ripped again? You fucking guy.
We'll give you 2 weeks. So you need.
Yeah,
I see just the upper shelf cleavage popping out the shirt. My man had to wear a thermal in here, a baseball tee to show off the real shreddedness.
It's funny too because like even now in the 90-degree weather, whatever, I'm out in my garage either in a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie, and everybody's looking at me like, "What is this guy out of his freaking mind?" Like,
I saw the
Charlie
videos.
does that too. Charlie's like, "How the hell are you training in a hoodie?" I'm like,
Always got to be covered up.
That's it. That's my thing. Nobody ever sees me in the gym uncovered unless I'm prepping for a show.
Or we did a shoot.
Yeah, I'm always covered up. It's an old school thing. At least for me, it is. I don't know. I've always been covered up. You know, I just feel. I don't know. I feel weird sometimes. When people looking at you and eyeballing you up sometimes in the gym, I don't know if it's a self-conscious type of thing for me or whatever. You know, I'm like, oh, what are they critiquing me? I guess, you know, I don't want to show that yet. Let me just cover up. You know? So, I don't know.
It's not ready yet.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
In progress.
yeah, that's the way I look at it. I guess, you know, always in progress.
So, question for you: what got you into bodybuilding?
This is funny. I think I was about 10, 11, and my dad worked for UPS, my pop.
And side note about UPS, unsung heroes for the fucking virus.
Oh
this
yeah.
year.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The amount of packages and
big
UPS
time.
don't send the check, we're gonna send it to you.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
I mean, my dad worked there for 30 years. He just passed away 2 years ago. My pop, he was 80. He would have been 83 this year. No, 82 this year. He would have been 82 this year. No, yeah. I'm
That's all right.
because he was getting ready to turn 80 when he passed away. That's why.
Yeah.
No, or 81. But long story short, he decided, well, I might not want to do the UPS anymore. My uncle worked for sanitation, and he knew my uncle had a great gig, and he was like, well, maybe I'll take the sanitation test. So he had a weight set in the house, and he would work out in the house with it. And I'd be watching him, and my dad's built similar to me on a very smaller scale. My dad never weighed more than 145, 150 pounds.
Wow.
But my father had the forearms and the crazy veins. And I'd watch him working out, and I'd be like, man, that's cool. That's, his arms getting bigger and whatever.
Changing.
Yeah, and you could see the change after a couple of months. And so by the time we were 12, we had moved into a new house. And he started making a little gym in the basement, and I was like, Pop, I want to work out, And he's like, all right. So he started to teach me how to work out. And as I started to learn how to work out, he'd buy more and more equipment. And then a kid on the block who I knew who was really into weightlifting started taking me to a gym. We used to go to, I don't know if anybody ever heard of it. I know a couple of the old timers, Paulie and some of the guys at the gym did because they worked out there.
Yeah.
I met Paulie when I was 16 at the Olympia gym in Ridgewood. Okay? It was a great little gym. A lot of guys trained there. Paulie, one of the older guys from our gym, was always doing a power lift, and he was there. I was 16. Paulie was probably in his early 20s. I think Paulie has me by like 8-10 years. All right, so I knew Paulie from there. And I trained there till I was like 17. And then I trained at a gym. I don't know if some of the older guys will know, Zinn's gym. Steve Zinn used to train at the Olympia, and then him and I think Al Fives, who used to own the gym, had a falling out, and Steve opened up his own gym. Jose Guzman, who was a Mr. America, and a couple of other big guys, some Universe guys, they trained at Steve's gym. Steve's gym.
And it was in Queens?
It was in the ass end of Ridgewood going into East New York, Brooklyn, in that area.
Gotcha.
And I trained there for a couple of years. I did a bunch of shows. Al had a show that he used to put on for his gym, the guys in his gym, and I took second place in that against some older guys. It was actually a pretty cool event. I was 16 at the time. And then, like I said, I started training at Steve's, and I was training at Zinn's, and I did the Mr. Hercules, short class teenage, and I took second place in that. You know, a lot of people were booing, you should have won. I'm like, whatever, listen. I was very happy.
You're ecstatic.
course.
You
Yeah,
got a
you know what I'm
trophy,
saying? I did very well. And
Yeah.
it's funny because when I was a kid, I did 4 shows. What was it? Not London Lenny's. Lenny's Clam Bar, true bodybuilding show.
Oh,
back
in
in the day.
Long Beach area.
I think it was 1981. And I took, I think, 4th in that. So when I was a teenager, for the 4 shows that I did do, I never left a show without a trophy. And it's funny because as I started my career as an amateur in the older divisions, same thing. Every show I've ever done, I've never left without a trophy.
Took some hardware home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was funny because there was some shows I'm like, oh man, I didn't even make top 5, and then you found out I was 4th. I was like, oh, check this out. You know, it's pretty cool. I would psych myself out sometimes, whatever. But from 23 when I had my first kid till I was almost 40, I didn't train at all.
Really?
Yeah, because what happened was I had my daughter, right? And my old man was one of those old school dudes that was like, you have a family now. Whatever you want gets put on the back burner. So bodybuilding, the lifting weights, the building of them, because I had muscle cars, I built a couple of muscle cars. All that shit, that's done. And he was my dad,
So you
and
listen to him, respect. Yeah.
well, I watched what he did. My dad took care of us. He worked 2 jobs. My old man worked like an animal for years. So I knew that what he was telling me was family first, no matter what. I dig this is what you want to do, but this ain't the time. You need to make money and take care of your family. And 18 months later, after I had my first daughter, I had my second daughter, and I was just working and working and working. At that point, I was a union carpenter making, good money. And I finally bought my own house. And then I had my third daughter. She was 5 years from the first one, so in that time period. And then, everything was good, and we were doing well. And like I said, I had moved to Florida in 01 and came back in 08. But in that interim, I wound up getting divorced. I was with my wife at the time for like 20 years. We were married for 16, and it just didn't work out. It was what it was. And I kind of went on a real tear. I was smoking pot, drinking beers or whatever, and going like a lunatic for like 2 years. And then finally on my 40th birthday, I was like, I'm done. Gave everything away. I didn't want no more alcohol. I didn't want no more smoking. I gave everything away. My brother and everybody's looking at me like, yo, what's up? Like, going back to the gym. I need to get my head right. And that's what it did for me. It got me right back to being
leveled you out.
Johnny, back at the gym, doing his thing, and working at the same time. So that's why I was saying, like, mentally, for me, this is one of the best things in the world. Because I started training again. By the time I think I was 43, 44, I did my first show again because I had came back to New York.
Mhm.
And I was training with Big John, and I wound up doing the Easterns, and I did, I think, 3 or 4 classes, 3 classes. I did the Open, I did the over 45 at the time, right? Over 40 or over 45,
I think it just depends how many people they have.
right? I think I did 3 classes though,
Yeah.
and I wound up over 35 and over 45. I think I was 45 at the time, and I did well in all of them. I think in the Open I took 5th, in the over 35, I took 2nd, and then over the 45, I think I took 4th or something like that, you know? So it was pretty cool, and it was a great feeling, and it just fed it. And I was like, I can do this still, and I can grow. I can still do this at my age, and I did, you know?
Is not to bring up sore subjects,
Okay.
but I mean, if I could, I would talk about him every single episode. But obviously, Sean.
Yeah.
Is that when you met Sean around that time? When you
Yes.
started competing
Yeah,
again?
yeah. Actually, when I first came to Bev's is when I met Sean. So, over 10 years ago, you
Yeah.
know, and it's funny because I retired on Monday, the 27th, and that's
That was-
Sean's anniversary,
Yeah.
you know. And and I didn't plan it that way, you know. It was funny because I was actually going to work till the 31st. But with my union, I was afraid if I worked to the 31st, my paycheck goes into August and it would push my pension. So I stopped the week prior. And I didn't realize it. And then I looked at my calendar because I have it
I
written
have
in
it
my
too.
calendar.
Mhm.
And then I realized, I'm like, oh man, I'm retiring the day of Sean, you know, passing. And it kind of hit.
Yeah,
You know, it still does. I'm getting teary. Just
I am too. I
talking
was about
about
to.
it.
I was about to get teary too, man.
You know,
Yeah.
so kind of, it's not a sore subject. I love the guy, man. We were friends. You know, I would do anything for him. He would do anything for me, and for everybody else that we knew, Big John, all of
Mhm.
us. You know, I still got tons of pictures of him with all of us. You know, training and whatnot. And I got a picture on my mantle of him in the pose where
Yeah,
downward
Yeah, the one they have at
pose.
Bev's now.
Yeah, and we have it. There's a big poem written on the back of it. It's
That's
in a
the glass
big
piece.
block of glass.
Yeah, I got one too.
Yeah, Charlie gave you one.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not a sore subject. It's
Yeah,
I
not
miss
to,
the guy.
Not, not
I
to,
miss
yeah,
the guy,
not to make
you
it.
know?
Right.
I mean, like, I don't want to get you upset. Like,
No.
you thinking that I was a loaded question.
No,
with
no,
that.
not at all. Not at
Because
all.
I mean, I miss him.
Everybody
miss him
does.
terribly,
you know,
too.
I posted
Mhm.
it the other day.
Yeah.
Everybody else, all the guys at the gym, a lot of people posted it. Who misses him, who didn't, or they commented on it. You know,
Yeah.
his mom posted it, which I felt horrible. You know, his mother's a sweet woman, and she misses her son dearly, and
I
I
don't
get
blame
it,
her.
You know,
I don't blame her. He was a great kid.
yeah, without
He
a
was
doubt.
amazing, amazing, amazing individual. It was my gym dad.
Yeah,
That was my
Mm.
gym dad. And
Sorry.
it's you know,
Sorry.
when I think of it, no, don't
You're good,
never
man.
never
You're good.
apologize, man. Never apologize. That's what I was talking about on that. That was part of what I was talking about on that Bev's post.
right.
That's
Mhm.
family.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We
Without a doubt.
we revel in each other's victories and we
Yeah.
grieve together when things aren't
Yeah.
great.
And the worst part about it is, we had lost a lot of people that year.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
we have.
Well, that was the crazy thing for me because in some way, like, listen, although I was shooting with Arash at the time,
Right.
like Sean really, it's weird. Like, he really popped my career off. Like, we
Right,
were
right.
together
Yeah.
and I started shooting Arash and this and that, and like little things. But, after Sean and after the Tampa tribute and stuff
Right.
like that, it was different. It was almost like he was watching out for me, kind of pushing
Sure.
me forward. And
Mhm.
it's especially when his wife asked me to shoot their son's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
And it was just it's an emotional thing. That's our family right there.
Of course. 100%.
We're all you don't go to a Planet Fitness and feel intertwined with people like that.
No,
Most
not
of
at
us
all.
we spend Christmas morning together, Bev's.
Yeah.
Oh my
You know?
God.
We all
'Cause,
do. We
did
all
you see the
do.
picture of Sean on my lap
Yeah.
when I was dressed as Santa
Yeah.
on Christmas morning? So, we
It's funny because
Mhm.
everybody be like, "You going to the gym on Christmas morning?" Yeah, dude. Regular family ain't till later on in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? We're there.
Man, there's the family you're born with and the one you choose.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's
I choose you fuckers every
Yeah.
single day. I
That's
love
it,
all
baby.
you guys, man.
without a doubt.
It's an indescribable feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it kind of once again full circles back to where a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, it's an athletic facility where you go there to get healthy, get in shape, whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's the regular gym.
Right.
This is a different kind. This is
It's-
special.
Yeah, without a doubt.
This
it
is special. I mean, who's to say if I didn't join Bevs back in the day that I'd be doing any of this?
Right.
Who's to say we would? I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
There'd be no
I mean,
podcast. We met
There'd be
each
no
other
podcast. There'd be no videos. There was like
No.
for me, no photos.
Yeah.
Who knows how different my life would have been if I'd never signed up for Bevs?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, this shaped me not only as a man, but as a professional in my field and in my industry.
And the people you got to meet. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've met all sorts of walks from life from this place.
Everyone.
Yeah.
From freaks to some of the coolest people you ever met. You know, and I'm not saying the freaks in a bad way either. You know,
No,
what I'm
No,
saying?
just-
no.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying, you know, just people that you look at them like, what the?
Where did you? How did you find this gym?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And,
This is a hidden gym. How did you find this place?
You know, but it's again, you know, like I said, with Sean helped me a lot in the nationals, doing the Masters Nationals in 17 when I finally did come back. Because you got to remember,
Well,
after
before we were together, but like before we were friends,
Right.
I always saw you with Sean. So
Yeah,
that was like my
right.
association was you guys were always
right,
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
me, him, John, Wayne. You know, that was the original clique at the time. You know, but Sean, when I finally recovered from the surgeries, I was like, I want to do the nationals. He's like, all right. So him and Big John, you know, the usual. We did my prep together, the three of us, and we pushed through the Masters Nationals. And then he was getting ready for Tampa, and
Yeah.
what happened happened. He hit
Mhm.
that tree, and it was horrible, and we all dealt with it in our own kind of way. I mean, I remember going to the gym and just not even training.
Oh,
we just sat there and
it
we
felt so weird going to the gym. I was there that next morning,
yeah,
that Friday, because it was
Yeah.
a Thursday night, I
Yeah.
believe it was. So it was a Thursday night, I'm pretty sure, or a Wednesday night.
yeah. It was one of
Yeah.
those.
It was either a Thursday or a Wednesday, because I
Middle of
remember
the
because
week.
originally we were supposed to shoot
right,
Tuesday or something like that, and I
we
had a
wound
Yankee
up
game,
pushing it,
and I said, "Can we do it the next day?" So I'll be back. He's like, "No problem."
Right.
I mean, he was excited. He was like pumped to shoot
Yeah,
with me,
he
which is like
was.
the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't like doing any of that shit.
I know.
So you know, we're getting all this great footage, this and that, and I'll never forget, man. It chills me to this day. But we finished up. I packed up my stabilizer. I packed everything up, and I said, "Yo, can I get a couple pictures of you?"
Yeah.
And he just goes, he's like, no. He's like, just take stills from the video. I said, "Come on, Sean. Just let me get a couple pictures of you,
Yeah.
man."
Mhm.
He goes, "All right, fine." And that's when
He did the
he
roll
hit all
down.
those pictures
Yeah.
in the leg room.
Yeah.
So like I look back at that and I think if I didn't give him that little extra, come on, man,
Push. Yeah. It
we wouldn't have even had that picture. We would have
Yeah.
just had the video. Which listen, the video.
was phenomenal.
I mean,
It was great.
it was. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It was chilling going to the funeral and people go, you know, his mom especially going, "You're the last one to really see him
Yeah.
here."
True.
And it was like a lot for me because I loved him and I loved everybody
Yeah.
that was there and I wanted to be there to support everybody. But I was just like, man, that's why when I made the video, I said it's not a pump up video now. Now it's a tribute. And
Sure.
it sucks having to
100%.
switch that gear. But if I could give any tribute to the life of a man that did so much for so many people around him
Oh, without a
and
doubt.
fucking cared,
Oh, without a doubt. he did.
didn't just bullshit. I mean, if I had a problem with anybody at the gym, which I didn't, I know he would be the first one in their face going, enough, like go
Yeah.
somewhere else. This
Mhm.
and that. He was just a genuine individual
Big time.
all through. So, you know, we could talk about Sean for hours and I wouldn't even care
Yeah,
because
no.
he's deserved so much more.
Oh, without a doubt.
But I would be ill-mannered if I didn't mention
Oh, no.
that part of our connection
That's
and
what I was saying,
triangle
yeah.
right there.
Without a doubt. Like I said, and, you know, Steve was super cool about everything, you know, and he put up that nice picture of Sean, and then he asked us, you know, is there anything else I could do? Sorry.
No.
No, please.
Let me get you a napkin.
No, I'm good.
I got you.
But Steve said if there was anything else he could do, and, you know, I was like, no, you know, everything you've done, I appreciate, you know, and John said the same thing. We all appreciated everything he did for us, for Sean.
Hmm. That's how you know the place is a family, man.
You know, it's 3 years, but it still kind of bangs me up. I
I
know.
know.
Sorry.
No.
Don't
Not
apologize.
at all.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a napkin.
I got it.
I stood up. I'm
I
trying
got,
to be the savior.
I got a shirt sleeve. I'm good. We're
I
good.
got Kenji.
We're
You
good.
can wipe it on Kenji.
We're good. We're good. I'm
I got
good.
Fuzzy Kenji.
Sorry again.
No.
I know.
you're
I
good.
know.
No,
I
don't
know.
Yeah.
apologize.
I know.
Absolutely not. That's
But
listen,
yeah,
that's like I said,
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
of us. That's what makes this special. That's what makes this unlike anything
Yeah.
else. We love each other. We feel for each other
Yeah.
when things don't go the right way. I mean, right after that happened, I was down with Flex and
Yeah.
Dallas happened.
Yeah.
that was like the wildest shit ever. It just seemed like a bad
It
run
was
for bodybuilding.
who else went? Rich Piana.
Yeah,
I
same
mean,
summer,
you know,
right?
it was ridiculous. Everybody,
Yeah.
it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, just
You know?
it was just a rough couple of months there.
But there was a bunch of people that, and I believe there was also a young lady that died as well.
Yes,
that
I heard
year.
about that. Not as
Yeah.
much.
Right, but I
Press.
remember, yeah. And you know, and the one thing I got to say, it was funny because out of all the pro bodybuilders, I believe Dennis James was the only one to mention Sean's name.
Dennis James, really?
Hmm.
Dennis had said, you know, such and such is passed, blah, 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 and let's not forget Sean Harris. I remember that clearly. So,
Yeah, that's wild. That's it. Listen, once again, a huge asset in the sport.
yeah,
So,
I mean, to a lot of people, he helped a lot of people prep for shows, you know.
he helped you prep?
He did. He helped me with 2 shows prepping at the end. Usually John was helping me, but I asked Sean at one point, I was like, I need you to come in and help out too, please. And he
Mhm.
did. I shouldn't say, you know, because Sean always would look at me and he would always say, well, I think this and I think that. But like I said, when I was getting ready for the Nationals, I had Sean really on top of me, you know, and then, like I said, whatever happened at the end there.
Well, listen, you made him proud.
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And he
Absolutely.
posted, he's like, let's give a, you know, hand to my buddy John Whalen. He's going for his pro card today. And
Mhm.
I came close. Like I said, I made
But
top.
either way, you made
Yeah.
him proud now,
Oh,
especially. You
yeah,
know
without
that.
a doubt. Without a doubt.
So now, let me ask you on a side note, bodybuilding wise, you're
Yeah.
retired. Are you're gonna be competing again? You're gonna be doing your thing?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Like I said, I would have tried to do a show this year. And I was thinking of a couple of shows. I was actually going to do a master show. I wanted to, believe it or not, it's funny when I say this. I wanted to do Tampa. And a couple of people told me to do Tampa. My only thing with doing Tampa was I really didn't have a facility to train. That was the
Mm.
problem. You know,
I think they're letting people into MI40.
yeah, well, the problem was I'm here. I'm not down in
Yeah,
Florida.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
I
saying?
thought I didn't even realize that because I'm
You know,
thinking
yeah.
when you get down there,
Mhm.
not that the gyms are
Right,
open.
but I take a long prep. I do 20 weeks. And everybody goes, why do you do 20 weeks? You could probably do it in 16 or 12. I do not like to do a crash diet. I don't pull my food like crazy. I've always done 20 weeks. For me, it seems to work better just for my body, for the way I do things. So I always did 20. The last time I did 18, and 18 worked. But I don't like to cut it close like that because
Yeah.
then I
Mhm.
feel at the end I'm really pulling food and everybody's like, well, if you're miserable, you're better off. Listen,
Yeah, that's
that's
bullshit.
to a
Yeah,
point.
no.
Excuse me, to a point it's true, but to a point it's crap.
And also, as a side note, and this is no offense to you, when you start getting up in age,
Oh, hell yeah,
it
dude.
hits you a lot harder.
Uh-huh.
Listen, think about it. I'm 5 years older than Dexter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I'm older. You know, and doing even New York Pro, prepping for the pro, it was a great prep. I had Arash helping me a lot with my prep. John was also still involved.
Mhm.
I did a lot of that on my own between me and Arash, and then just me a part of it because some things I loved what everybody was saying, but some things I'm like, you know, I really don't like that. I don't, you know, it didn't just sit right with me. Even with the supplementation, okay? I used to do tons of stuff. And then I started really, you know, saying to myself,
Looking from the outside in, probably.
and you know, the more shit you did, you felt freaking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I felt like crap. You know, at one point, you know, 2,000, 3,000 things a test a week, and you're like, fucking doing them myself.
Yeah, you don't feel good with
And,
that.
you know,
So that's a lot, I assume, right?
oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's a truckload, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, really.
that's a bit.
You know, so, you know, and I started doing a lot of my own research. Some other people, such as Arash, said, you know, you're out of your mind. I wouldn't do that, you know. And he was 100% right, by the way.
Mhm.
And I started doing tons of my own research. I'm talking about University of Maryland, this, that, and the other thing, following this other guy, Dr. Gaines, and some other things on Instagram, and starting to do real research. And I started really looking into it. You know, your body doesn't use more than 125 milligrams of test a day anyway.
Mhm.
So if you're giving yourself a shot at 300,
It'll just aromatize.
either that or you're spitting it out in your fecal matter or whatever in the bile duct. It's gone, you know? But it will, like you're right.
That's what I'm saying.
It aromatizes.
So it won't even get used. It'll just turn
Right.
estrogen.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's just
Is that why a lot? Is
counterproductive.
that why a lot of dudes get gyno?
Yes.
Yeah. Some people are more susceptible than others, but
And your body's not using it. So I learned how to do what they call microdosing.
Mhm.
So I would use smaller amounts, but you have to do it more frequently. Everybody say, "Oh, you pin yourself every day." Yeah. Okay, I do. But my body's actually using it, and you could tell. Because at the last show, I thought I looked freaking great.
You did look great.
Even in when I turned pro that year in 2019, 2018, I thought it looked great. So it was like,
Mhm.
you know,
Now imagine you how much better you look on the outside, how much better you probably look and feel on the inside.
well, that was another thing. Like at one point, I'm going to the doctor, and they're like, "Yo, your blood's thicker than freaking oil, man. What are you doing? You gotta." And like
is
I
oil.
said, exactly.
yeah.
And I learned a lot in the last, I'm gonna say, 4 years, where I really now know my body, what my body can do, can't do, what's right for me, what's not right for me, and I stay away from everything that's not right for me. And
Good.
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm older now. People say it's a young man's game. Some people turn around and say, well, it's not a healthy sport, so you may as well do it anyway. No, it is a healthy sport for the most part.
If done properly,
Yes.
with
Yeah.
research
Yes.
and monitoring.
Yeah, and if you're smart, you can't just take everybody's word for something.
It can be a healthy sport.
It can be.
Yeah.
Again, being smart about the process. Like I said, knowing what can be used, can't be used. Knowing how much of it can be used, can't be used. People just, I'm taking 5,000 of this, 2,000 of that. But yeah, okay, you're ending your life quite early.
And then you wonder why. You have all these issues later in life. A
Well,
lot of
that's
these people.
another thing, who has kidney issues, who has this, who has that, which I try to avoid. Like everybody, you got a nephrologist? Yeah, I got a kidney doctor. Yes, I do.
Mhm.
I want to make sure all my organs work the way
Checks
they're
and
supposed
balances
to be.
all the way down.
Yeah.
Bing,
That's
bing,
it.
bing. If I'm going to take this risk in somewhat fashion, I need to make sure that everything else is functioning
Right.
properly. And if it's not, we fix it and we correct it until it is.
And I got a cardiologist. I got a liver guy. Cause I have bad acid reflux. I have a bad stomach.
It's like he's recommending body shops. he's like, oh, you got a liver guy, huh? Give me that liver guy.
And it's funny because a lot of people don't think about it. Like I tell younger kids, or not younger kids, younger
Oh,
adults.
everybody
That's what I was
everybody
about to go into.
turn the volume up. Listen, because John says this all the time. I want old school John now.
Yeah,
for
it's the truth. You're gonna do something. You need to have blood work done. You need to have everything checked. I know some young guys. They're not even 20 years old yet, and they're on stuff. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Your body's making so much testosterone till you're 26 years old.
That was Kenji clapping. That's how amped he is.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
You're from the age of about 15 to 26. Your body's making tons of testosterone. You do not need to take anything. If you eat properly and train really hard, your body's going to get stimulated. Your body will grow. Oh no, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, I want to do this. And then I'm listening to the amounts that they're talking about. I'm looking like, are you out of your freaking mind, dude?
Well, that's more than I've taken.
It's like, guy, you're doing this way wrong, and do you want to have kids someday?
That's what I was
Do you
about to
want
say.
to, do you want to live and have a good life? I said, this is stuff you shouldn't. Well, I'm not going to be doing it forever. Well, then you shouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, because now your body's going to be dependent on it.
Yes.
A lot of
Yeah.
it too.
If you're telling me that bodybuilding is not going to be your thing, and you're only doing it because you want to do a show or two, well, then you're a moron.
Mm-hmm.
You really are.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to take anything. If you're not going to pursue this as a passion because this is something you really want to do, that's the only reason I did it. This is what I still really wanted to do badly. I wanted to get my pro card. I wanted this. I wanted that. So I did the dabble, and I did the this, and I did the that.
Mhm.
And, again, I finally realized some of it I was doing way wrong and corrected it. Now, if I could pass that on to a young man saying, dude, what the freak are you doing? Wake up. It's like my nephew. He wanted to do it. Oh, like, no. And he was living with me. I was like, no. I said, first of all, you're my brother's son.
And he's probably he's going to listen to this podcast. So
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So aren't you glad you got that advice?
Yeah. And, and the thing is, again, you're not looking to do this for a living or for the rest of your life. I'm not saying bodybuilding is a way to really make a living because for a lot of guys, it's not.
Mhm.
Guys turn pro just like me. I ain't got a sponsor. I ain't got anybody.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get that meal sponsor.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Hey, great. The top guys have sponsors. They make good money. They're living a good life. That's fantastic. And that's what everybody is hoping for that is doing the sport.
Mhm.
Reality is a lot of us aren't going to have that. That's why I still worked and had a job and did everything that I needed to do. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm trying to explain to these young guys, you're doing something that's not going to be good for your body.
Well, jumping in right here is they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
If they want to be a pro and get a sponsorship, to think that's a great way to make a living, you're still working for a living if you don't do this because you love it. All of the best people in the world, the top of the line competitors, they do this shit second nature because they love every aspect of it. And the
100%.
sponsorships are great, they come along.
Right.
Ronnie Coleman was a cop, for
Yes.
fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He was a cop. They didn't.
Yeah.
He could barely fit in the car.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he said it. He goes, yeah, I'm Mr. Olympia, but I'm going to still work. I like to work. I like my job.
Hmm.
Me, I was a carpenter. I knew for a fact I couldn't stop working to pursue bodybuilding as a living. Number one, I got into it again too late. Let's be realistic.
Mhm.
I did it because I liked to do it. I liked competing. I liked going up against somebody else because it's my knowledge or whatever against his knowledge or my work ethic against his work ethic. And I loved the competition part of it.
Mhm.
So for me, it was no brainer. But I still had to put food on the table. I still got to take care of my wife and my kids. I am remarried. I do have other children. You know what I'm saying? I have a total of 5. 2 boys, 3 girls, and my granddaughter. But, I mean...
John's
Yeah.
got a colony over there.
I'm just
But-
picturing someone, oh, this is my grandpa. You walk in jacked up. Jesus Christ.
What does it say on your lifting belt?
my lifting belt says John Whalen, IFBB Pro, and then underneath in quotations it says Grandpa. And believe it or not, Big John gave me that nickname.
Love it.
Years
That's
ago.
great.
Big John gave me that name. He goes, hey, Grandpa. I'm like, Grandpa?
Fuck you.
I lift more than you, dude. Don't knock that shit off. That was always the thing. I always had a really good bench press. So I would break his balls and Sean's balls. That was our thing, And that's the only fucking lift you got. That's the only fucking lift you got. I said, that's the only lift I got. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I beat you both on it, so I'm good with it,
The 2 big guys in the room.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you only got me by 70 pounds. He's got me by 60 pounds. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay.
But that's the good camaraderie, But again, like I was saying with some of these kids, man, I
It's
look
scary.
At them,
Yeah.
and you're wondering what's really going on in their head. Is it an ego thing? And if it is, man, you got to get off of that because you're only going to hurt yourself somewhere down the line, especially if you really don't know what you do.
And 99.9% of them don't.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Some of the pros don't even know. They're going by what a guru says or what somebody else says. And hey, listen, I'm not bumping any gurus. I'm not beating on anybody. I'm not even mentioning any names because that ain't my thing. You know
No
what I'm
need
saying?
to.
Everybody does what they want to do, how they want to do it. But along the line, you got to realize the things that we do for this sport, it's good and it's bad. So you have to outweigh the good with the bad. And if you realize that and you can figure out the right way to do it, fantastic. If you're going to be one of these kids that puts on blinders and just going to do it because you're being told to do it and it doesn't matter, you're looking down the wrong end of a freaking gun.
And you're never going to last.
No.
It's a longevity sport. It's
Oh,
not,
without
it's
a
not a
doubt.
sprint.
Let me tell you something. Dexter Jackson's one of the men that everybody should be looking at. The guy's 50 years old, been doing it over 20 years in this sport. I don't know what he does, what he doesn't do. That's his thing. But the man is one of the smartest men when it comes to doing something that I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Something hurts, he doesn't train it. That's why he's never had a major injury. Thank God for him. He used to say it all the time, my knees hurt. I'm not training legs this week. I'm not squatting. I'm not hurting myself. That is one of the smartest things I've ever heard somebody say. Other people, I train through it. I do this. Yeah, we've all done that. And what has that gotten us? Gotten me a
Worse.
couple
Yep.
of surgeries. You know what I'm saying? But this is the type of person that you should look at. The man has no health issues as far as I know. The man's longevity speaks for itself in this sport. The only other person that I knew that competed like him competitively, I think, was Albert Beckles. Albert Beckles was like 53 or 54 years old when I think he finally retired. If I'm correct, I could be wrong on the age, but I'm pretty sure that was roughly the age when Albert
Early
Beckles,
50s.
Yeah.
when he finally retired from competing as an open man, in the open class.
Mhm.
But I mean,
I think Jay Cutler threw the towel in right around the right time too. He seems like he's
Yeah.
doing okay right now.
he's doing great.
Yeah,
as
I'm
far
saying,
as,
I'm saying
right.
physically wise.
Of course,
'Cause that's really what
100%.
you have to look at. You have to look at these guys after they retire.
I mean,
are they falling apart?
right. I mean,
Mm.
didn't Albert Beckles just pass away? I believe as well.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm not saying this off beat, but I
You can look
thought
it
I think he passed. I think he was in his late 80s, maybe.
Mm.
I could have swore I heard something a couple of weeks ago. I may be wrong, but if I am wrong, I'm very
Hope
sorry,
so.
Mr. Beckles.
Yeah. What you got there, Nikki?
Just says born. It doesn't say death. So he's from He's from Barbados.
Yes, he was definitely an
He's
island
90
gentleman.
right now.
He is 90, so I
Good.
may be right.
I mean,
I may be
it
wrong.
doesn't say. I would assume.
I
that
hope
it
I'm
would-
wrong if I'm
Yeah, I mean-
misquoting it.
Yeah, I feel like it would have said it on there.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, Mr. Beckles, I am sorry.
And Mr. Beckles, thanks for tuning in.
Hey, Mr. Beckles, thanks for tuning in. And why don't you come on talk
Yeah.
about the longevity of
Yeah.
your career?
I mean, again, there's a man.
Mhm.
If he's like I said, if I thought I heard it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Or maybe he's sick. I don't know.
But 90 years old, dude. You don't
Yeah.
hear that in this sport.
No.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? So a man who's obviously done something right in his life. Whether he's done stuff, hasn't done stuff, whatever.
Whatever,
Mhm.
but kept his actual health in check.
Yes. And like I said, that's why I try to tell you, well, did you get your blood work done? No, I haven't had a chance yet. What do you mean you haven't had a chance, dude? Call your freaking doctor. Tell him you need to come in and
2
have blood
seconds.
work done,
Mhm.
dude. He gives you a lab, you go to the lab and get the blood work done. You know?
You got time.
I feel sorry for some of these kids because, not that I'm afraid for them, but I'm
No,
afraid.
but you are.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm afraid somebody's just not paying attention and they're going to hurt themselves.
I've had a lot of friends over the years, and you know what? I won't say a lot. I've had a group of friends over the years that have taken steroids, and they would boast about how their girl's not going to get pregnant this month. And I'm like, so impotence? That's
How about
Great side effect, huh?
yeah. You
how
really
about
don't-
she can still get pregnant? Don't rely on that.
She can. She can still
That'd be
get
a
pregnant.
conversation.
Yeah, right?
She can still get pregnant, but
Yeah.
it's just like that's the benefit. That's your takeaway. Not
Yeah.
I'm going to be healthy. Not I'm going to it's going to fuck my nuts up, man. I'm not going to be able to. I'm not
Great.
going to be able to produce quality semen. It's like,
Yeah.
really? Wow. Okay.
Congrats.
Like I said, I
Why don't you just get a vasectomy?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's really what your fucking concern is.
Like I said, some kids, like I said, this is a beautiful sport. Because for you to be able to eat food, to train, and turn your body into something completely different,
Mhm.
take your body and turn it into this amazing physique, streamlines, nice muscle bellies, all these good aspects of it, but to screw it up health-wise because you're not paying attention to what you're really doing is sad.
Mhm.
You might look the greatest, but then look what happened.
It's like a perfectly carved statue filled with dynamite.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good.
It's the
I
truth.
like that. That's
Think
good.
about it. It is perfect.
I just came up with that. I was gonna say full of shit, and then I'm like, what's better than that?
Yeah, I mean, and it's true.
Mhm.
You it's like playing Russian roulette sometimes, and somebody just doesn't get it.
Yeah. And what's worse is a lot of the people telling the kids what to take are the people selling it to them.
Yeah,
So they go, what'll make a bottle go through quicker? You need 5,000 a week.
yeah. I mean,
Ooh.
Mommy and daddy are paying for it, right? Bring it right over.
it's crazy, dude. And like I said, I've never seen the how do I say it? The thought process.
Mm.
What is your thought process?
But most people, I could say most of the younger kids, at least, I would say that most of them are doing it. I could be wrong, but most of them are doing it in terms of trying to get female attention or opposite sex attention.
Yeah, I can
Maybe
see that.
Maybe
Yeah.
the bodybuilding is an outlet to give an excuse of why they're taking or why they're doing things.
Right. Well, there's a couple of younger gentlemen at the gym. These kids are just getting into college or whatever. What do I got to do to get bigger faster? And I look at them, I'm like, train and eat.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. What else? Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I said, I honestly don't. I said, because You obviously, you come in, you train like a lunatic. You do 20 different exercises for all different body parts. I said, and then you run out of the gym. I was like, there is no like regiment. No, I'm going to do arms today. I'm going to rest tomorrow. I'm going to do chest and shoulders or whatever. There's no like process. And I look at this one kid and he always, oh, when can we train together? When can we train together? So I give this kid like a day to train with. I said, you really want to train me? I'll let you train me. He comes in like 3 hours after I started. Oh man, I forgot. Well, what are you on right now? I said, it don't matter what I'm on right now. I said, I'm done.
I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Nice kid. Very nice kid.
Flaky as hell though.
Yeah. So I gave him a Meadows program, and he was asking me, what can I do? What can I do? I said, listen, man. I said, I think I look pretty good. I lift, and I'm stronger than a lot of guys sometimes at the gym.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of dudes are rowing 200-pound dumbbells like I do, throwing them around. Not a lot of dudes are doing the weight that I do. And not to gas myself up or stroke my ego, but for somebody that doesn't take anything, that's pretty good in a gym that that notoriously is on the adverse side. Yeah. So I said, listen, when I wanted to get stronger, I started doing John Meadows programs. Before I was friends with him, his workouts are brutal.
Yeah.
You will break multiple times in a workout, and then you just build yourself back up for the finale, which is even worse than everything else.
Right.
But they work.
Oh, hell yeah, they do.
So gave him the program. I said, you want to get better shape? You want to get better body composition, this and that? I said, eat food, just like you said. Eat food. Follow this to the T. He must have been doing it for a week, if that. I don't even know if he hit every workout. He's like, oh, I'm definitely bigger. I said, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I said, I wish it did.
Sure?
I said, I wish it did. It evidently works like that for Kenji because he's growing like a fucking, like a weed.
But something like those programs where it'll say fail at 8 reps. They don't know what failure means.
They don't know what failure is. So, and then I would see he's on like day 3 or something like that. And I'm looking at day 5 because I'm on that. And I'm looking at it and he's not doing the workout. I said, what are you doing right now? Oh, well, my buddy's in town, so I'm going to do this little workout, or we switched it around, and then I'm going to start it up next week. I'm like, but this is the consistency that you don't have.
Yeah.
And this
100%.
is why I prepped at 21 years old. I prepped 23 weeks for my first show.
Right.
I didn't miss a beat.
Right.
On fucking point. Food, away at school too. No drinking, no partying, nothing. Food. Cardio, lifting, everything to a T.
Yeah.
You can't do a program for 16 weeks.
No.
Of just lifting, of just shit you got to do in the gym. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
I don't know how you think you're gonna. I don't know how you think you're gonna change.
And then he goes to me, well, I want to go up to like 190. I want to play football. I want to go up to like 190, but then I'm going to shred down to 160. I'm like, wait a minute. You're going to play football. You can't be 160 if you're going to play football. You need to be 190.
They're going to eat you alive.
I said to him, so you need to be as big and as strong as you possibly can be. Yeah, but I want to shred. I said, okay, well, then don't plan on playing football. Well, what do you mean? I said, if you're going to come all the way back down to 160 shredded, you're not going to be able to push anybody around because they're going to be pushing you all over the place. I said, that 30 pounds is what's going to help you play ball.
Yeah, you need to. If you need another 30 pounds on you, got a great restaurant to go to.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like talking to a brick.
I know, and he doesn't listen. He's a really, like I said,
He's a nice kid.
I want to preface it, and I want to end it because if he does listen, you are a good kid, and he's
a sweetheart of a kid.
He really is.
Just doesn't listen.
You just gotta focus.
Yes.
That's the takeaway from something like this. You need to focus and really hone all of your energy into something.
Yes.
And most people have never done that in their lives. They've never given 110% to something.
But he's the type of kid
that'll jump on shit.
Yeah, most likely. Or if he actually really listened and did what he was supposed to do, he probably would grow very fast, that kid. He looks like he's got a stocky, nice built to him. You know what I'm saying? For a shape that he has, he could probably put on a good 15 pounds of muscle in 2 years. I'm talking legit muscle.
Yeah.
Well,
that's those beginner gains.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You go, I put on 40 pounds. Yeah, but out of that 40 pounds, only 15 is going to be muscle. If you're lucky. If you're lucky.
If you were eating a diet to put 40 pounds on, 15 wasn't muscle. You were eating bullshit.
My coach, the doctor, as a natural athlete, this goes for anybody listening, as a natural athlete, you are lucky to put on 1.5 to 3 pounds of lean tissue a year.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, beginner
Do the
though,
number.
when you first start
Yes.
training, there's a thing called beginner gains that give you much more lean tissue than you can at any other time. That's like a post-contest rebound.
Right.
Yeah.
These are your windows of opportunity.
Sure.
If you fuck those up, it's only going to get harder.
Yes. 100%.
And not to
100%.
mention testosterone levels at that age too.
That's what I'm saying.
They're shot through the roof where it literally changes your physical appearance, even if you don't work out.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah. And these kids don't get that. They just they don't believe the data or the data or however you want to say it or the science. They just don't believe that that's possible. That their bodies are really doing that. That's the only thing I could think of.
And even on the flip side of it, they might believe the science is true. They go, cool, I'll use that later on. But right now, I want to get as big as fast as I can because I'm starting.
Yeah.
And then once I look good, then I'll pay attention to it.
Yeah. No, don't worry.
Don't worry like that.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
Hard work over everything, man.
without a doubt.
That's what I learned from Dorian. You know,
Dorian, Guy Cisterino, these guys put this shit on the line, dude. They go balls to the wall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I learned what
He actually went to go train with Dorian.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I saw that.
Gangsta
I
shit.
learned what
Yes.
true 100% intensity is on the human body when I trained with Dorian.
Yeah.
Every single muscle group. We trained 4 days in a row, which isn't a normal split. It was just
Right.
'Cause I was
Because
there,
you had the time you had.
exactly. When I used to train hard, you know, but what I learned when I was with him was my old hard workouts. If I go to the gym nowadays and have like an lift, that lift nowadays is like my old hard lifts.
Right. I got you.
And 100% intensity nowadays is, let's say before it was a 7, now it's a 12.
Right.
A
Right.
completely different pain threshold. Where I'll go into the gym, I train 4 days a week right now for an hour and a half tops. Go home, eat, rest, repair.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You don't need 20 different exercises.
No.
You don't need to fatigue yourself after every little thing.
No. These kids don't get that. A lot of people don't get that.
Well, think about how much we can get done in a garage gym that others are not going to be able to. Like
Yeah.
right now, listen,
Yeah.
I'm crippled. Until I get this rack tomorrow,
Right.
I've been very crippled. Can't lift heavy. I have over 500 pounds of weight. Can't lift heavy. I'm got to keep it somewhat moderate. And I have no spotter. Even still, I have nothing to unrack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I started putting, I put like 250 on the bar and I was benching, floor pressing. And then I was like, just to re-rack it, I'm putting it on the bench above me. It's lifting the bench. I'm like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I said, I have to wait until, I said, I really have to wait until I get my rack.
Yeah. Without a
But
doubt.
from that perspective, I ordered the rack.
Mhm.
I know I keep mentioning it. I ordered the rack. On that, I have a landmine attachment.
Yep.
I'm going to have that beater bar. And I have the single leg roller so I could do Bulgarian split squats,
Right.
which is like the Meadow
Yeah.
fucking
Sure.
staple. And I have I have kettlebells ranging 17, 27, 37, 62, 72, and 123.
Damn.
You're getting another big boy, right?
I want to get the
Yeah.
203 pounder. I really do. Because I use them for rows.
Yeah.
So I can row the 200s on a
I got
dumbbell.
225.
Well, if you want to come over for the 123 pounder, I'll warm it up because I know you'll put it through my roof. But
Oh, God.
above my garage is my bedroom, so don't fuck that up, please. So just think how luxurious Bev's is.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You
Okay,
kidding me?
it's got a machine for
And
every
it's
muscle in the
funny.
got the neck machine in the
Yeah.
back. I see Steve
John
on that every.
uses that all
I
the
see
time.
Steve on it every
Yeah.
now and then. I'm like, all right, don't make a joke. Don't even look him in the eye when
Yeah.
he's using the neck machine. I'm like, don't even look at him. But now think about fundamentally. You just said how many people do so many not exaggerated, eccentric
Yeah.
movements. Oh, this works. This, that. Okay, yeah, maybe it does. But a basic squat, deadlift,
Oh yeah.
overhead press, bench, Bulgarian split squat, rows with the fucking
Yeah.
landmine, all that shit. You hit that a couple times a week, your body's gonna change in a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
You just hit it hard.
Compound movements, a little regular compound.
That's when I looked my
movements.
best.
Oh, some of the best movements you can ever do.
I switched from my original coach, who's a guru, and who starved me and didn't
Yeah.
have me get stronger, and I worked with the doctor, and the doctor told me compound movements. He was like, I want you deadlifting 2, sometimes 3 times a week.
Yeah.
All out too. I was deadlifting regularly about 400 every like 2 days.
Yeah.
Back day, leg day.
Right.
I was doing sumo for glutes. I was doing everything. My body was the roundest and most defined I've ever had it.
Right.
And I was up in weight
Yeah.
versus the others.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It instantly responded well to
Sure.
everything that was going on with it. Squatting. I was squatting 330.
Yeah.
everything was just like, I wasn't going like crazy numbers, but
No.
my body was just responding instantly.
That's like even everybody goes, why do you squat last? Like I'll do all my quad movements.
Pre-fatigue, baby.
That's it.
Yeah.
Fatigued everything. I don't have to squat as heavy. I was squatting 405, 465. For what? I fatigued the shit out of myself.
Mhm.
I go with 315 on a bar. I'll do 10, 12 reps.
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I can't because I'm just started training again. So 315 I got the other day for 9. I was very happy with that.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I was like, okay, great. We're getting it back up there.
Mhm.
But I mean, I used to squat 4, even after fatiguing, Sean would spot me. I'd do 405 for 6 or 7.
Mhm.
And then I was done. That was my last set. I dropped that thing on the rack and I was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to eat.
Yeah. Or John would spot me, whatever. But
Mhm.
I was done after that. And then nobody realizes that like if you fatigue the leg so much, that compound movement becomes so hard at the end. You know, I know a lot of guys that don't get me wrong. When I was younger, I used to squat first too. I
Mhm.
did, but I go, you know, now again, like I'm older, knees, hips, everything. You gotta
Smarten
be,
up. You smarten up too.
you gotta be
Yeah.
careful. You know,
Early on, I learned from Meadows, hamstrings first. I do
Yeah.
hamstrings first to warm up the quads,
right?
and it helps push blood in there, which is the harder part to warm up for,
Right.
especially if you're squatting.
Yes,
Then you do leg extensions or some type of a sled or press,
Right.
and then you go into squats.
right. Now, I used to do the whole leg in one day. I used to do hamstrings and quads in one day because I
Mhm.
didn't have time. I wasn't retired, and you know, I only had certain days I could train
Yeah.
or whatever. But I used to split hamstring first one day, quads first the next workout, you know, back and forth. But I started to do at least 4 sets of either a lying or standing leg curl to warm up the hamstring before I did all the other quad moves. You know, or I'd superset leg extensions with lying leg curls or something like that,
Mhm.
just to get the blood in the leg.
It helps.
Yes,
Yeah.
big time.
You may not be as sharp, like you can't hit your max weight,
No,
but we're not power lifters.
Doesn't
no,
matter.
It's about sculpting the muscle. It ain't
Yeah.
about lifting everything off the ground.
One of the earliest Kai videos I ever saw was him at Bev's talking about we're bodybuilders, we're not power lifters. I
Yeah.
don't care
Mhm.
about how much weight I could move. It's contraction and flex and
Yes.
stretch and,
Yeah,
and flex
100%.
and stretch, and that stuck with me when every time I think about that. I'm like, how am I moving the weight efficiently or not efficiently
Right.
so I can do it
I
the right
mean,
way?
if you're herky and jerky in the bar all over the place, you obviously aren't doing something right.
Right.
It's too heavy.
Yeah.
You know, okay, if you have to get a little momentum every once in a while, you're doing curls and you got to give that little, that's fine. Don't come leaning forward and swinging it up and back. You're not working the muscle,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
No, I agree.
CrossFit's in the check.
CrossFit's fucking doomed with that CEO saying shit.
I know.
That is it, man. They're gonna be called something else. We're gonna have to give them a new name and make fun of them in a couple of years. It's gonna be interesting to see that that whole federation change.
Crazy.
That's all right. Out with the old.
Fuck them.
Peace.
That was the old in with the new.
So what's on schedule for next year? Now you're looking at.
Again, it's all going to depend on what these idiots do with this, what's going on here.
I know.
So what are you
mean,
thinking roughly?
Um,
Now would you do the Arnold? But you have to get invited.
no, you'd have to be invited. To be honest with you, I would love to, but being the older gentleman that I am, I'll use the term like that, you know.
The delicately aged.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I really can't compete with these younger kids. I really can't. Don't get me wrong. When I did the New York Pro, it was the best feeling in the world to be up there with those guys. I'm probably better off sticking with the Masters stuff. Again, I would jump into an open show depending on where it is and what it is. But I was thinking about doing 1 or 2 Masters shows next year. I wanted to do Pittsburgh Masters.
Cool.
You know, the pro show. The guy got canceled this year. It wasn't even an option, you know. There was a couple of other shows that were more towards like September and I believe October. What was the name of that one show? I forgot the show that it was.
So you're thinking later in the year, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
Cool.
You know,
Give
like
you
I
some
said,
time.
I want to put on a little more if I can, whatever size that
can.
I can put on. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be sloppy. I'm not going to go get all giant fat and then have to try and kill myself to get it off. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. If I could go up to 220, I'd be very happy, but I'd like to keep it as lean as possible.
Mhm.
I mean, I've never been heavier than 212, 215. So I don't know if 220 is a
Really?
possibility.
Now I'm a fat fuck.
Yeah, I'm dead set. Well, you got to remember,
Yeah.
I'm short. You know, it's not like I'm a tall kid.
Mm.
Kid.
You're a good kid.
Yeah, but you know, for me to get heavy like that, it would be it's hard for me. You
Yeah.
know, especially now that I wouldn't be working. You know, because when I was working, I was on my feet 8 hours a day, running around, swinging boards or framing something.
Which that was your
or-
cardio.
Right.
Yeah.
On top of cardio that I was already doing. But, you know, I'm not doing any of that. So there's a lot less being burnt off. So watching what I'm going to be eating, I guess would be more what I'd have to do at that point. Because like I said, eating fattier foods, eating crappier foods would kind of have to be really out.
Yeah.
Because again, I can't get fat.
No. Yeah, you don't want to.
There's no reason to either.
No, exactly. You know, if I could put on a couple of pounds and make it look more than what it is, the illusion,
Yeah.
That's
under the
bodybuilding, man.
lights, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'll be very happy with that.
Cool. As long as you come to my house at some point.
Oh, yeah,
And you
without a
christen,
doubt.
you
Oh, yeah.
christen the rack.
Oh, without a
and we
doubt.
get a leg day in and
Yeah.
we suffer together.
Sure, I'm easy with that. Like I said, if I could come in, say 195, 190 pounds shredded, I think I'd do very well.
Cool, man.
You know?
And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be nice. So like I said, I'm hoping shooting for something next year. Again,
Got some time, so now you good.
Yeah.
You relax a little bit,
Yeah.
enjoy retirement.
that's it. You know, my wife and I have been talking. I got some projects to finish around the house.
Cool.
I got half started. I didn't finish, so I got stuff I got to finish. And
Could you make me a table?
Could
you?
Yeah, of course. I can make anything.
We have to have. You know what? I may actually have to have you recruit you
Yeah,
Mm.
to make some shelves. You might have to be the one to make my
yeah.
my,
Let me
Yeah.
know.
my liquor shelf now for the office.
Got to see the nice table I built my wife in the
Yeah.
living room. She loves it.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I would love anything you make.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk
without
about
doubt.
that. But I want to thank you
Yeah,
for
without
coming
doubt.
down.
Absolutely,
course.
man.
You are the
course.
absolute shit. You're the OG. I love seeing you. I'm
Thank
just
you.
happy to see you because it's been so long.
Yeah,
Mhm.
without
And
doubt.
I hope that, and I don't hope. I know that a lot of what you said brings a lot of value and resonates with a lot of people listening.
I hope so. I mean,
because
you know,
you're a real dude. You're a hard worker. You're a blue collar guy. You're
yeah,
just
big time.
you're a man's man, and you're out here just doing your fucking thing, and you look phenomenal, especially
Thank
at
you.
your age. I mean, how many
Appreciate
other
it.
guys your age look like that? Not a lot.
Yeah,
So I
At any
mean,
age.
I'm fucking 28, and I don't even look like that.
Yeah.
So I just get excited when I see you because you're a good ass dude, and you're
Appreciate
good all
that.
the way to your core. I've never heard, never seen, never felt bad vibes from you, and that's the people we want to
Yeah, big
resonate
time.
and vibe with.
yeah. Who wants to hang around an asshole? I don't.
Nobody.
Doors that way, Kenji bite him on the way out.
Yeah,
That's
you know
basically what
I'm
it
saying?
is.
Big time. You know, like I said, everybody that's at our gym, our family is. I mean, I gotta say, everybody's straight up. You don't hear anybody talking bullshit behind anybody's back. Somebody's got something to say to somebody. They go up to them and be like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, no problem, bro.
Yeah.
And they squash it or fix it or do whatever they got to do.
Or Steve
Or they
throws
never
them out.
talk again.
Or
yeah,
Steve
or
throws-
Steve
throws them the fuck out of the
Yeah.
Literally throws them out.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Last small story before we end this. I was doing a shoot for an unnamed person.
Okay.
I'm friends with them still. Nice person. And there was another photographer or video guy in the building doing some stuff. And this person that I was shooting, we'll call him Alex.
Okay.
This person that I was filming for that day was in the locker room getting ready. And Alex is talking to one of his buddies and he goes, this other fucking this kid's fucking doing videos and photos. He thinks he's fucking hot shit, blah, blah, blah. John heard him. He goes, you better watch what the fuck you say about Nick. People like him at this gym, this and that. He goes, no.
Big John?
Yeah. He goes, no. I met that other person out there, not Nick. I'm shooting with Nick today. He goes, all right, watch your fucking mouth.
Oh, shit. That had to be great. Especially coming from him.
Yeah, it was great.
Bald head, all tattooed up.
Just lurching out.
Yeah.
You my gym teacher 2 years ago?
Take a lap.
That's funny shit.
Well, listen, John, I'm going to have you kick this outro.
So, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this week's episode of The Voice.
And Rizzle's joined by our man.
John Whalen.
Oh, John Whalen, the OG. Let's
There we go.
Peace.
Peace out.